Good morning again, my Teaserking family. I apologize. I guess the screen freezes, and I never really know when the screen freezes. Let's see if this one's working. Okay, I think I'm on. Okay, there I am. Am I frozen still?
Okay, there I am. Am I frozen?
Okay, I'm not. All right, good. Goody. So, yeah, if you can just give me a nudge if I'm still frozen, let me know. I apologize, but out of my control. So I saw it was like 20 minutes was all I got in, but it was all the baseball. So again, we'll go through the baseball. The Yankees, or no, we won't. It's Baltimore, Philly over 9, KC under 9, Cleveland under 8.5, Houston over 8.5, St. Louis under 8. The Cubbies, Atlanta over 9, Oakland under 7.5, Detroit under 8 are your baseball for today. And then we're going through the preseason. So I'm going to go through what I was looking at with the quarterbacks. So let's go through them again. We'll go right down the list from week 1. Let me know if you have any questions on it. But basically, the preseason, we're really looking at quarterback performance. So Baltimore's backup was Devin Leary from North Carolina State. He plays last year at Kentucky. KC, Mahomes, and then Wentz seemed to be the backup. Green Bay, Jordan Love, and we got to watch tonight to see who his backup is. Philadelphia, Hurts. Pickett looks like the backup with the most experience. Pittsburgh, Russell Wilson, and Fields is the backup, but he's pretty pathetic. Atlanta, it's between Cousins and Penix. One will be the starter, one will be the backup. Penix is the better quarterback. Arizona, Murray and Riddler is the backup. Buffalo, Josh Allen and Mitch Trubisky apparently is the backup. Hey, Greg and John, let me know if I freeze again. I got 20 minutes in and I'm talking for an hour, so it's frustrating, and I haven't eaten in 2 days. And I don't know. I can see myself move, but I noticed when I came on, it's a little bit frozen. Anyway, so let's see. Tennessee, Levis, and I guess Mason Rudolph will be the backup. Philadelphia or Chicago, Caleb, and then Baggett will be the backup. Good luck there. New England, Brissett and Zappi should be fighting it out for the starter. Cincinnati, Joe Burrow. Logan Woodside from Toledo is very good. Raiders got no quarterback. Horrible ball. No, Minshew's okay. They didn't play Brock Bowers yesterday. Well, that's huge, not playing Brock Bowers. No. I don't agree with that. Thank you, Greg and John. Yeah, I mean, if you don't play Brock Bowers, then you want to tell me the quarterback doesn't look good? Well, he doesn't have his quarterback out. This is the problem I have with most of these preseason games. Take the Lions. I like Hooker. I think he's better than Goff. Again, I noticed the Alabama game. Nobody else seems to notice that what he did against Alabama. I guess it was a dream. It wasn't real. And he looked really good yesterday. But the problem is he's throwing the 4-string receivers, and he still looks good. He doesn't have St. Cloud, and he doesn't have the tight end, whoever, Charlie Sanders, and doesn't have the running attack. So Goff, it's kind of fixed where Goff, doesn't have to play. Looks good apparently without playing, because in practice when they can't blitz or can't hit you, he looks good. And then Hooker gets the 4th-string garbage, and he still looks better. He He looked very good yesterday. Got the winning touchdown. I don't really know what the coaches are thinking. Well, we'll throw the third string out, quarterback out with the third string, fourth, fifth string receivers. He doesn't really look at. They don't even know how to run routes. They don't know how to catch the pass. That's why they're fourth and fifth stringers. Throw them out with the first stringers. No, you're going to wait till the guy gets injured. Then you're going to throw him out. And when you throw him out, he'll have never thrown to the starters before. These coaches have their heads shoved way up their ass. They don't know what they're doing. Anyway, don't threat. Wait, Brock Bowers. He looked pretty good with Brock Bowers in the game the week before. But again, Oakland doesn't have – O'Connell sucks, but Oakland doesn't have a great offense, great defense. So run the ball a lot and throw the ball to Brock Bowers, and you win games 10-7. That's how you're going to win. Okay. So New England, Zappe's better than Brissett. We'll see what happens. And then Burrow, and obviously better than Woodside. Houston, CJ Stroud, Case Keenum. I'd like to see Keenum start. I don't buy Stroud. He runs around too much. It's a circus. And Keenum won a Super Bowl, didn't he? Stroud couldn't beat Michigan. Enough said. Indy, Richardson against Bean and Ellinger. I think Bean's the best quarterback there. He looked great at Kansas. Ellinger looked good at Texas, but they didn't do anything. Richardson, did he play for Florida? I didn't see him do anything in Florida. Oh, yeah, he ran a little bit against Georgia when they were down 40 points. Yeah, I can see Richardson's an athlete. Then put him at running back. He ain't a quarterback. Trevor Lawrence and Jones for Jacksonville both suck. Jones scored with 2 minutes left yesterday, against the fifth string of Tampa. Wow, yeah, he should be the starter. Lawrence is way overrated, not a very good quarterback. If you have Joe Montana, you're going to win the division. You have Tom Brady, you're going to win the division. You have Trevor Lawrence, and you couldn't beat Indy and Houston? Are you kidding me? Miami, Tagliabue, and Mike White. White's pretty good. Tagliabue is okay, except for if there's a big game and a good defense out there, then he runs away. Injury prone, not really a good quarterback. Smooth delivery, but can't read a defense. Carolina, Young, and then Plummer both suck. Young's terrible. Why isn't Young playing? Oh, we're scared to get him injured. No, you want to get him injured. You want an excuse not to play him because this guy sucks. He needs he should be playing a half in each of these games. New Orleans, Carr and Haener. I like Haener better. He looked great at Fresno State. It takes me back to the UCLA game when he beat UCLA on his own, getting hurt in the middle of the drive to win the game. I look at these quarterbacks who are going to win me money. I don't care about the flash. I care about who am I going to bet on. All right, this is strictly wins and losses. This is not how well they looked or how bad. Caleb didn't show up in half the games last. They only won, 4 games? Oh, we love Caleb. Why? At least Stenson Benson won 2 national titles at Georgia. He was big in that Ohio State win. Give me a fucking break. I don't know what you're looking at. He's probably, Stafford's there for 20 years, so let him finish out his career, and you got Stenson Benson right behind him. This is like Favre and Aaron Rodgers. Absolutely. Again, he wins the game for him. So he's a winner, Stenson Benson. Absolutely. So New Orleans, Carr and Haener. Haener's got heart. Haener is a good winner. Carr, I don't see anything from Carr. If he's so good, why did Oakland let him go? Minnesota, Darnold, who's terrible. Mullins, who's pretty bad, but I think Mullins is the better quarterback there. From what I saw last year, he threw for 400 yards twice against Detroit. And it looked like you're going to throw for 400 yards against Detroit this year after watching Mahomes light it up. New York Giants. Daniel Jones or Danny DeVito? Jones shouldn't even be – I don't know what he's doing. How long does it take the coaching staff to realize the quarterback sucks? I mean, it's like going to eat at a restaurant and the food's bad and going back there. Well, maybe it'll be better this time. No, it's not good. And you go again, and it's not good. Why do you keep going to the restaurant? You don't like it. You don't know how they serve it. You don't like the food. Why do you keep going back? At what point do we think Daniel Jones is a good quarterback? The losses to Dallas 42-0, the getting killed by Philadelphia, losing to Washington. What do we see in Daniel Jones that makes you think he's going to win you a game? Because I can't find it. He can't throw the ball. Well, he's a runner. Well, then let him play running back. You let Barkley go. So now you have nobody. Oh, you drafted a receiver from LSU. Well, that's good, but you're not running the LSU offense. He'll have no receptions. Big waste of time. Why do you still have Daniel Jones? What the fuck are you doing? This guy sucks. 2 interceptions against the third stringers in the preseason game yesterday. Are you kidding me? And then you got Danny DeVito, who sucks, but he's better than Jones. I mean, what are you doing, Giants? Oakland, Minshew, and O'Connell. O'Connell stinks. He sucked at Purdue. What do you think he's going to be all of a sudden good when he sucked at Purdue, a passing college? Minshew's okay. Washington State played pretty well. Nothing great. Decent backup, but you don't have a starter. So, by the way, Oakland, you're in trouble here. San Diego, Herbert, excellent. Sticks, terrible. Easy decision there. Denver, Bo Nix. We'll see his backup today. Nix is very good. I don't know why people are saying he's not good or he didn't look good. What do you I don't like how these pre-ranked. Everybody loves Caleb. Oh, Drake May ran a 4-yard touchdown in, even though it was 2 of 10 for 5 yards, but he ran in a 4-yard touchdown. So look how good he is. It's like, Jesus Christ, you're as bad as that as you are on the economy. Oh, there's no inflation. There's no recession. Yeah. Okay. Tell me today's Monday, and I still won't believe it. Bo Nix is going to be very good, just like Penix will be very good. Seattle, Geno Smith and Sam Howell. Howell's lighting up the exhibition, but we know he sucks. And Geno Smith's average. He's not a starter. Dak Prescott. See, he's there because Russell Wilson left. So you took Geno Smith. You didn't draft him. He's not very good. He's a backup, but you're sticking with him. This is the problem I have with pro football. You get a guy with a little experience. They did it with Blaine Gabbert, who sucked at Missouri and then sucked there, and you kept him, and that's it. Yeah, I know Stenson Benson is good. So we got that. Seattle has Geno Smith and Howell. Okay. Dallas, Prescott, and then either Trey Lance, who's terrible, or Cooper Rush, who's very good. Rush should be the starter there. When Rush was the starter a couple of years ago, they did very good. Doesn't turn the ball over, and he drives you down and gets you first downs and gets you. He's not great, but he wins. I'll bet on Rush, but Prescott, his interception problem, and I don't know what they're doing with Trey Lance. Cleveland, Watson or Thompson Robinson, and then Huntley looks like the backup. I do not like Deshaun Watson. He sat out 2 years. That whole sex thing, he's done. I mean, he's always injured. I don't even if he tries. Again, the guaranteed money, you fucked yourself. It should be incentive-based. All right, you throw 20 touchdowns, you get this much. You win a playoff game, you get this much. You win the division, you get this much. He gets the money guaranteed, doesn't even try, doesn't care. He's a terrible quarterback. I would start Thompson Robinson, and then Huntley's a decent backup. Washington, Daniels, and McSorley was the backup. Where was my man Hartman? I kind of disappointed there in Washington. Daniels looks very good, so I hope he doesn't get hurt running. Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield, and Kyle Trask. I think Trask is better, but we'll see. See, people, because you have seen Trask, think he's no good. Well, did you watch him at Florida? Light up Alabama and light up Georgia? No. Or you forget. I love the what they did in college doesn't matter until you draft them, and then you go, oh, we drafted C.J. Stroud because he had a good game against Georgia. Shitty games against Michigan, but we'll forget those. We only look at the Georgia game when he ran and he couldn't throw. And that's the problem. And then we look at him here. Well, he looks good against Indy and Tennessee and Jacksonville. How about the game against Baltimore in the playoffs? Well, that doesn't really count. That was Baltimore. Let's not count that game. People are so weird. Let's see. So LA, Stafford, and Stenson Benson. You got to give it to Stafford now. Won the Super Bowl, but Stenson Benson is very good. Detroit, Goff and Hooker. I think Hooker's better. He doesn't choke. He beat Alabama 50-49. Goff in college in the championship game of the Pac-10 went to Utah and threw 5 picks, and they lost. In the Super Bowl against New England, doesn't show up. They lose 13-3. The Rams cut him because he sucks. The Lions get him with no pressure, beating bad teams, and everybody thinks he's great. You just gave him a $50 million contract. You're out of your fucking minds. So again, we forget what he did at Utah in the Utah game. We forget what he did at the Rams. We forget that the Rams cut him because he sucked. And now because he beats Carolina and Atlanta and Tampa, then he's great. What happened in the New England game when they lost 35-0? Let's not forget that. That was a couple years ago. Let's forget that game. Let's forget the Dallas game when they lost 27-0. Let's forget the 2 interceptions he threw at Dallas to lose 20-19. Let's forget all that. Let's remember the Atlanta and the Carolina games. That's what he did. Oh, yeah, he beat the Rams in the playoffs. He had a good first half, didn't show up second half, and same thing with Tampa. And then against the Niners, he had a pretty good first half, and again, didn't show up. So you got a 24-7 lead, and now you're losing 34-24. Where were you in the second half? Oh, we played 2 halves, really? But everybody wants to forget that. Everybody wants to. It's okay. The coach is aggressive, cost us a Super Bowl, but he's an aggressive coach. Doesn't know when to be aggressive and when not to be. Doesn't understand this is the Niner defense you're fucking with, not New England's or Atlanta's, Carolina's. I mean, you guys have all the excuses. You know everything, but you're fucked up. That's why you listen to me, because I know what the fuck's going on. The Jets, Aaron Rodgers. Who was their backup? Oh, they got 2 sucky backups. So if Rodgers gets hurt, the Jets are in trouble. So what do we take out of yesterday if we look at the scores? Philly 14-13 again. A good win at the end. New England sucks. Baltimore 13-12. Penix didn't play, which I was surprised. I thought that was bad. Shows you the backups here. Lamar, who needs the work the most, doesn't play. Go figure that out. The Bears 27-3. Had nothing to do with Caleb Baggett threw like 3 touchdowns. Caleb was like 4 of 9 for 20 yards, but he ran in a touchdown. So apparently that means a lot. And was that off of a turnover or what? I don't know. No, Trey Lance did not play good. Trey Lance played the whole fucking game against the 3rd and 4th stringers, and he ran a lot. He didn't play good. Define playing good. Define playing good means you threw for 3 touchdowns with no picks. You didn't do that. Against 4 stringers of who did Dallas play? Oakland. So against your Oakland team with their 4 stringers. Did Mason Crosby play? No. Or who's their big defensive end? Crosby, I think. Mason Crosby was the kicker on the Packers. So if Max Crosby doesn't play, does he really look good against the 4th string? Which is the problem in exhibition football. He ran a lot. He threw. He had some good passes. But we all know him from San Francisco, and we've never heard of him because he played 1 year at North Dakota fucking State. Has he won any big games? No. Has he even been playing in any big games? No. He breaks his ankle. The Niners realize he sucks. He gets beat out by Brock Purdy. Enough said. All right. The Bears 27-3. They've been scoring points for some reason, but it's not Caleb. Not really sure what's going on there, but we'll take notice. I think that there was a pick 6, I think. And Burrow didn't play in the game. Houston 28-10. So you got to be careful. There's no Burrow, so you can't even count it. No Chase. Burrow and Chase make the game much different. Their first string defense makes the game a whole lot different. So Caleb's playing against third stringers, maybe a little second stringers if they're out there, maybe. Again, there's a big drop off on most teams from the first stringer to the second, especially Chicago. They have a few good defensive players. That's it. So if they're not playing, you can't really look at it. But I don't know. Houston 28-10, nothing to do with Stroud, and you had Daniel Jones threw 2 picks. What do you take out of it? It's hard to take it. Detroit 24, KC 23. Mahomes has it 13-0, or actually 6-0, and then the great what's Carson Wentz comes in. But you had the 4th string, and Detroit has Hooker, their second stringer, playing in the second half. So yeah, that's I would have bet Detroit if I knew Hooker had a concussion from last week. So I wasn't sure if he was playing, but yeah, getting 12.5 was a good play because Mahomes played 2 series, looked like Mahomes. He threw this beautiful pass. He was rolling to the right, and Kelsey was kind of underneath, and he underhands it to him about 5 yards in front. It reminded me of the Florida game when Urban Meyer was at Florida, and whatchamacallit, who's the religious guy, was the quarterback, and they would run that inside little toss play where the tight end would come underneath, and he would just it's coming to me. He would just throw it, and that was it. But that's kind of the play he did. But yeah, KC wins this game easy if he plays. But again, Detroit's scared to put their starters out. And what pisses me off is they're not letting Hooker use the starters. So Hooker, as I was saying in the other video that only went 20 minutes, Hooker, why doesn't he get St. Thomas and the other receivers and the tight end and the running backs? Let him play with the starters. See what he's actually made out of. No. We're going to play him with the 4th-string receivers who don't know what 10 yards is. Although I think there was one good receiver from Illinois or something. But it's so unfair to judge him. These are why they're 4th-stringers. They're not very skilled. And then so you see Goff go out with the 1st-stringers, but you didn't even see that. So at least we saw Mahomes with Kelsey and Rice and Pacheco, but you don't see. You're mixing it up. You should have Hooker with the first team. Let's see what he looks like with real receivers, real tight end, real players, because he'll eat them up, and they're scared because Goff will not look as good as Hooker. Again, I love how the memory. He beats Alabama 54. That never happened. That really didn't count. Yeah, okay. That's why I get excited. A Hooker is that game, right? You don't do that to Alabama. You don't put 50 points up. So, and he made a lot of great passes in that game, and he's a winner. So let's not give him a chance because we got Goff, who's always been a choke. But so good luck betting on Goff in a big game. Yeah. Minnesota 27-10. Nick Mullins comes in. I think he should be the starter. God knows Darnold sucks. All of a sudden he's good. Cleveland, Thompson Robinson. Okay. Tennessee 16, Seattle 15. 2 bad quarterbacks there. Indy 21-13. Jason Bean from Kansas should be their starter. See, he didn't even get drafted. So why didn't Carolina get Jason Bean or Hartman, right? These guys have no idea. I watch every game. I know the good quarterbacks. I see the guys who make us money. Bean with Kansas puts up 40 a game. Will Howard at Kansas State puts up 40 a game. He's at Ohio State now. Cam Rising, guy's the best quarterback in college. But you got to watch the guys play. He's a fucking winner. So, I mean, it's just, yeah, but he's not a runner. We need a runner because we want to see him run for 10 yards. Like, that's not what a quarterback. They're totally they're missing the concept of the quarterback throwing the ball to Jerry Rice and Joe and all these great receivers. That's the point of it. Kurt Warner, he couldn't run. Yeah, he sucked. Joe Montana couldn't run. Yeah, he sucked. Brady, Peyton Manning. They all sucked, right? Because they couldn't run. Drew Brees. That's how you win championships, with a pocket quarter who uses his receivers. That's how you win. Miami 13-6. Daniels looked good. I didn't see Hartman, disappointing there. Pittsburgh's got big problems, terrible offense. They lose to Buffalo 9-3. Pittsburgh might not win a game. They got to get Russell Wilson going. He should play the first half next week. The Jets is 15, Carolina 12, and Carolina's in big trouble. Their backups suck. Their whole quarterbacks suck. Who is the one deciding on drafting the quarterbacks who obviously doesn't know how to draft quarterbacks? Carolina, their backup is Plummer from Louisville. He was on Purdue and he didn't do anything. Transferred to Louisville because of the coach, who's a really good offensive whiz, but not with Plummer. And you got Steve Young back there. Carolina won't win a game. New England, maybe not. Washington might get in. Pitt starting to look like they might not win a game. The Rams, Chargers, Stenson Benson comes through again, 13-9. San Diego is going to have a hard time scoring. Herbert's injured, so let's say he's ready for week 1. He ain't going to be ready because he hasn't played. They have no running. They have no receivers, as he traded away Keenan Allen and Williams and got nobody except for maybe some free agents, which may be okay, but San Diego's an under team. Jacksonville 20, Tampa 7. Jacksonville with Mac Jones and Trevor Lawrence is in big trouble. They won't win any good games. They'll beat Indy and Houston or whatever. Tampa Bay, I don't know. Terrible coach. And then Dallas 27-12 is all Trey Lance running, not throwing. Oakland, Minshew will be okay. Brock Bowers didn't play. That's why they didn't score. TK, who you like, Yankees or Detroit? Yankees lost yesterday. Judge was not hot lately. I already gave that pick. I'll go baseball again, but I just gave it. The first thing I did on this video, Baltimore, Philly over 9.5, KC under 9, Cleveland under 8.5, Houston over 8.5, St. Louis under 8.5, the Cubbies, Atlanta over 9.5, Oakland under 7.5, and Detroit under 8. That is my baseball picks today. I will not be doing football picks. They'll only be in the class or on the site. I will go through the games like I'm doing now to review them, but the picks will be in the class private. All right, let's go. So that's pro. Disappointing Penix didn't play. Disappointing Hartman didn't play. What the fuck are you waiting for? If you're not going to play him in the preseason, they need the work. They need the tempo, the timing. It's like golf. You cannot just wake up and go play golf. You have to go at least to the driving range or the putting green and practice. I would go to the putting green with a 7-iron and I'd get my timing down and hit little chips with my 7. And I'd pull out my 5-iron. Then I'd pull out my wedge. Then I'd pull out my driver. And I'd chip with because they're all different lengths. And you want to get the timing down. You got to do that in football. You think this guy can just throw, practice. Practice is bullshit because they're not, it's hands off. And these scrimmages are bullshit. That's why you get all these injuries the first 3 weeks. I mean, there was teams last year. I mean, Tennessee had 25 guys injured on the injured list every week. I mean, it's just fucking crazy. All right, college football starts next Saturday. Very excited. So that's pros. If you have any other questions, comments, let me know. But basically, I'm looking at when I analyze quarterbacks, it's not that I like or dislike Caleb. I look at it as, is he going to make me money or not? That's why I get on Trevor Lawrence. That's why I get on Daniel Jones. That's why I get on all these guys. Yeah, they can all throw the pass, but they don't know how to win. They're not winners. And I tell you winners. Jay Kaner is a winner. Trask is a winner. Penix obviously is a winner. Bo Nix is a winner. And Jalen Daniels is a winner, but Lawrence isn't a winner. Bryce Young is terrible. he was decent at Alabama. Really wasn't anything fancy. Didn't win too many big games, and then Georgia shut him out. So didn't really do a whole lot. But that's what the fake offense of Alabama. That's a system offense, like the Ohio State offenses are. Why is Fields so good in college and so bad in the pros? Because it's the system. I know you guys on radio don't believe in systems. You're fucking idiots. You've got to understand that's how it is. Alabama now, we'll see what the system looks like with DeBoer. We'll see how Penix is, but this is more of a pro system, what DeBoer ran at Washington, what Bo Nix did at Oregon. So they're much more prepared. JJ whatever, the guy from Michigan, McCarthy, all he did was hand off at Michigan. In the big games that he played in, Georgia, he didn't do anything. Against TCU, threw what? How many pick sixes did he throw in that game? And you want to draft him in the first round. So you totally forget the TCU game, and you totally forget the Georgia game. And last year, there was nobody that they played. And Ohio State was really bad last year. And then he beat Alabama, but he didn't do anything. He just ran against Washington. They had 4 touchdowns of 40 yards by the running backs. So at what point did he win you the game? Nothing. So why are you drafting him? We want a quarterback who can run. Oh, okay. How did that work out? Oh, he's already out with a knee injury, and you can't replace him. That's why the running backs run and the quarterbacks throw. You don't want Tom Brady getting injured or Joe Montana. You want him in the pocket throwing touchdowns and winning Super Bowls. You don't want him running. And there's Lamar, who never won anything in his life. Good luck with that one. And again, the coach is too stupid to realize he's not that good. We'll use Lamar. He's the MVP of the league. What league was that, and why? For doing what? Why don't you do the MVP after the Super Bowl? And it would be Mahomes every year and Joe Burrow when he's healthy. Lamar, oh, yeah, he lost again in the playoffs. Yeah, I guess he's not MVP material. He doesn't win. This is why I make my statements. It's the same thing with gold. Why is gold? Why do you buy gold? Because the dollar is going out. The dollar's worthless. This is why we buy gold. It's an action and a reaction, right? You're printing dollars. It's going to go to zero. The only way out is gold and silver. The Titanic hit the iceberg. It's sinking. The water's coming in. You need the lifeboat. The only way out is the lifeboat. So you shouldn't have to see it. That's why I don't understand in football, Daniel Jones, how many times you have to see the guy sucks before you realize when he's out there, you're going to lose. So how do you want to lose? Is this why you're the coach, so you can lose? You're collecting your money and you don't know what the fuck you're doing? I mean, what's New England going to do with Brissett, or worse with Drake May? Do you want to see them go 0-17? Carolina, how many times do you need to see Steve Young out there before you realize he's terrible? At what point? I mean, you either see it or you don't, right? Brady struggled his first few games, but then he beat Oakland on the tuck play, which sucked. I thought it was Oakland's ball, but he won the game. Do you see, do you see Daniel Jones doing that? Are you going to see Brissett do that? No. Did you see Drake May do it? No. Did you see McCarthy do it? No, you didn't. You never saw him do anything. So this is the point. You did see Daniels at LSU, and you saw Bo Nix, and you saw Penix. Yeah, they won. Hartman, yeah, he won at Wake Forest. Don't hold Notre Dame against him. That was not his fault. That's bullshit. So Carolina would be better off with Hartman. So would the Giants. What are they fucking doing? Guys, why don't they think he's good? Did you watch the Wake Forest games? He almost beat Clemson single-handedly. The fuck are you looking at? Greg John, that okay was horrible, the tuck rule. That was a joke. That was a fumble. Woodson knocked it out. He happened to be moving his hand. A fumble's a fumble. All right. That's my point. So when I talk about, Trask is better than Baker. Baker didn't do it. What did he do? He lost to the Lions. How good can he be? He lost against that defense. He puts up 23 points when everybody else is putting up in the 30s. You got receivers going for 200 yards against the Lions. What did he do? Okay, maybe Evans got 200, but he lost to the Lions. That's disgraceful. So anyway, let's look. So let's see. August 24th is Saturday. We've got Florida State 11 and a half, 55 and a half, 56 to Georgia Tech. Oogly Boogly is the quarterback. Now, I don't know how long he'll be out there. I would imagine he'd get the freshman out as soon as he can. And we'll see. They should still have that killer defense because it's the coach. He gets good defensive players like Georgia every year. They get the best defense, Iowa, because they have the system, the defensive system, and he brings in the players. And Georgia blitzes the hell out of you, and you're fucked. So Florida State, I would anticipate a great defense. Georgia Tech, over team with a 30 defense, so they're not going to stop. Oogly Boogly might look a little bit good against this defense, but Georgia Tech with Kings should, will they keep it close? They could. So we'll see on that. The next game is SMU 27-57 to Nevada. SMU was an A team last year with a 17 defense. The quarterback's back. He's very good, Stone. Nevada was a weak team with a 33 defense. Their quarterback sucked, and he's back. So should be a lot of points for SMU. We don't know what to expect out of Nevada yet. Those are your two games on the 24th. Well, let's move on. On the 29th, which is the following Thursday, we got Minnesota 2.5, 50.5. Both defenses were 27 last year. Both teams have new quarterbacks. Minnesota was a good defensive team the year before. North Carolina has never been a good defensive team. Minnesota 2.5, 50.5. New quarterbacks, 27 defenses. We'll see. This is what you're going to watch. Colorado, which is not, it's a Division II game, 8.5, 58.5 to North Dakota State. I have no idea. All we know is Prime Junior will take the sack instead of throwing the interception. I read his stats. He was like 28 and 3 interceptions with 52 sacks. It's like 52 fucking sacks. Are you kidding me? Because he didn't want to throw the interceptions. You just take the sack. Jacksonville State, 3.5, 57 to Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina had a 25 defense. Jacksonville State a 20. Returning quarterback for Coastal Carolina. A new one for Jacksonville State. Rich Rodriguez, the West Virginia coach, is the coach. Usually has pretty good offenses, although it looks like he had a decent defense. We're not sure. And again, Coastal Carolina has a returning quarterback. Wasn't great, but we'll see. So again, you're watching the box scores. You're going to watch the stats Sunday morning in 2 weeks to see who's the Coastal Carolina quarterback? How's Jacksonville State do? Michigan State, 11.5, 46.5 to Florida Atlantic. So now we're on the 30th. We got the Oregon State coach and quarterback at Michigan State. Notice how Oogly Boogly ran to Florida State. Now the coach didn't want him. That tells you a lot, right? So new transfer quarterback, the Oregon freshman. He's okay, I guess, but he's used to the system. Florida Atlantic, a new transfer quarterback. They give up 25, Michigan State 22. We'll see. I think Michigan State will be much improved with this Oregon State coach. I never thought they should have hired the Colorado was a terrible. He was like 2-7 at Colorado. Oh yeah, let's hire him. And he did nothing. I don't know. Oklahoma, 42.5, 59.5 to Temple. Temple's the Z team last year. A new quarterback. He's weak. Oklahoma with a new quarterback who's never played before. One of these option guys. It might work better in college. Temple had a 36 defense. Oklahoma a 22. So we will see. Wisconsin, 24, 56.5 over Western Michigan. Western Michigan, not bad. 32 defense. Wisconsin, a 19 defense. They get Tyler Van Dyke, who's outstanding quarterback. And Western also has a new transfer. So it'll be interesting to see Wisconsin. Usually they have a good defense, and with Luke Fickell, they will have a good defense. It's how does the offense bode with Van Dyke? Should be a lot better. TCU 7.5, 61 to Stanford. TCU goes to the title game 2 years ago. Last year they couldn't replace Max Duggan. The quarterback's returning. He's kind of okay. Stanford's quarterback's weak, is returning. Stanford with the 37 defense, TCU with the 27. I look for TCU to bounce back this year. I'll get to Alabama. Patience is a virtue, Greg John. Why, you going to bet Alabama? You don't have any money. Go buy silver instead. Georgia Clemson, one of the games of the day. There's about 4 good games of the day. Georgia 13.5 and 50.5. That lines went up. I wonder why. Georgia with the 16 defense, didn't like it, fired the coach, brought in a new one. So they're smart. They don't play the defense you want them to, that you are playing like 7 and 8 defense for the last few years. You fire the coach. I never lost, like Will Munch crap anyway from Texas. Clemson, big trouble. They decent defense. Kuglak's not very good. The game's in Atlanta. Both quarterbacks are back. Again, a 16 defense for Georgia, 20 for Clemson. Virginia Tech, 13.5, 53.5 for Vanderbilt. Virginia, pretty good quarterback in drones. Vanderbilt gets a new guy. Gets my guy Pavia from New Mexico State. He was really good considering he was at New Mexico State. They won 10 games and beat Auburn last year. 24 defense, Virginia Tech. Vandy at 36. We'll see what they do, but both 2 good quarterbacks in this game. Maryland 20.5, 48 over Connecticut. If I can find them. $20.5, 48. Connecticut with a 30 defense, Maryland with a 23. Tagliabue Jr. is gone. Their new quarterback's not very good, and neither is Connecticut. So 2 new quarterbacks. Connecticut's always kind of weak. They got a little bit better, but not much. Maryland, they're always kind of, they're okay. They're better at home, but never that really good and never really have a defense. Pitt, 24-54 to Kent. Kent, a 35 defense, a Z team, a 27 defense for Pitt, which is surprising. Narduzzi's a defensive coach, and both new quarterbacks. So we'll see. Pitt maybe gets better. Kent going to be terrible again. Second game of the day, Penn State, 10.5, 51.5 to West Virginia. Penn State had an 11 defense, but it didn't help them against Michigan or Ohio State. West Virginia with the 28 defense. Both quarterbacks are back and very sharp. I really like West Virginia's quarterback. And again, a 51. So this is revenge for West Virginia. Penn State killed them at Penn State in the first game. Look for West Virginia to be definitely play a very good game. Miami, 2.5, 54 to Florida. Are you kidding me? Miami at 22 defense, Florida 27. Transfer quarterback Ward from Washington State's not that good. Florida has the returning quarterback who was at Wisconsin, who actually was like 24-3 last year. Yeah, I don't get why Miami's favored here. I don't see them winning the game. UTSA and Tennessee State. Tennessee State was a Division II team, and now they're Division I, so we have no stats on them. UTSA 24, 49.5. What do you do with this game? I don't know. Frank Harris is gone. The running back's gone. and both have new quarterbacks. But you can't even talk about Tennessee State. You have no idea. They weren't very good in Division II, so kind of a weird move up. UTSA could kill them, but it's a new quarterback. We don't know. Big Nebraska, 27.5, 48.5. Where is Big Nebraska? Where are they? There they are. 27.5, 48.5 to UTEP. UTEP had a 28 defense. Nebraska with an 18 will probably be better than that this year. A new freshman quarterback from Nebraska, and UTEP with the returning quarterback who wasn't very good. So again, what do? I don't know. It's hard to use last year's ranks, so I'm not going to. Nebraska, I know, was an under team. They're not going to score a lot. Good defense in UTEP, an average team. College start. Aren't you listening, Craig and John? College starts next Saturday. The Florida State Georgia Tech game and the SMU Nevada game. And then the following Saturday, which is what I'm doing now, is the first full week. 700 subs. Well, people, if you're honest and you tell the truth and you know what you're talking about, people want to listen because it's such shit they get from all these other people that lie to you or give you they don't tell you the truth. My biggest thing is inflation. It's printing the money, but everybody thinks it's cost. So you're getting bad information, extremely terrible news, not correct news about inflation as prices going up. So therefore this, that, and the other, when it's printing the money. That's why all these countries are going under. Venezuela's going under because they printed their money to death. And that led to the prices going up. And then you had price fixing, which led to everybody going out of business because you can't sell it at the price they want to do it. I'll talk about price fixing later. So Nebraska should be a low scoring team this year. Again, that's what we assume. We don't know the quarterback. We can't say that. Eastern against UMass. UMass, wow, 2.5, 49.5. What happened here? 2.5, 48. I would say Eastern's the better team unless there's some injury going on here. UMass with the 38 defense, Eastern with the 24. A new transfer quarterback is in. UMass with the returning quarterback who wasn't very good last year. Again, I don't understand why this line moved. Ohio State 50, 58.5 to Akron. Ohio State had an 11 defense last year, Akron 28. They get Will Howard from Kansas State, which is a huge, huge increase from last year. McCord. Akron gets a new transfer also, 28 defense. I think Ohio State comes out really strong in their first game with Chip Kelly and Will Howard, and they're going to want to pour it on. They have to beat Michigan this year, and I don't see them. Well, they might lose at Oregon. So, again, your best four teams. Georgia's number one, Ohio State, Oregon, and Utah are number two. And that's what you have. That's your top four teams. Ohio State has to go to Oregon. That'll be a tough one for them. But they're a good live dog. If we get them as a dog, they're a good dog. I remember when they played at Texas years ago, I had them as a dog at Texas, and they won the game. So I look for Ohio State to give Oregon all they want. That's your best four teams. We'll see how Alabama does, but they don't have a defense, and they have an offensive coach. Penn State won't do anything. We'll see. Maybe TCU's back. Maybe we'll see how Washington does, but they got a new quarterback. I don't know. There's not that other team that really can get with those four. They're the best. Northwestern, 4.5, 43 to Miami of Ohio. You've got Miami of Ohio is a very good MAC team. A 16 defense, returning quarterback Gabbert. Northwestern with a 24 defense and a new quarterback. It was the coach's first year because the other coach got fired. This should be a very competitive game, I think. Ohio Syracuse, guess who gets McCord, the Ohio State quarterback who sucked last year? He goes to Syracuse. So what do you think? So this is like the pros drafting. What do you think he's going to do here if he had Marvin Harrison and good running at Ohio State, and he was shit. What do you think he's going to do at Syracuse, right? Syracuse 17, 47.5. Ohio's a very good MAC team, but they have a new quarterback. Syracuse with the 24 defense. Ohio had a 15 defense. So the Ohio State quarterback, Syracuse, Ohio gets a new one, but they're a very good team with a very good deal. They're a very good MAC team. Syracuse was an average ACC team. Indiana 21, 50.5. 20.5, 50.5. Okay, to Florida International. Indiana gets the James Madison coach and quarterback. They got a very good transfer quarterback. I think it's McLeod or Bezak, somebody. They got a good quarterback. Florida International's quarterback's returning. Both teams, Florida International let up 32 a game, Indy 30, but Indy's James Madison coach let up 18. So he's a good defensive coach. So look for Indiana, maybe not the first game, but to be much better this year. James Madison was a very good, well-coached team in the Sun Belt. So look for Indiana to get going. Florida International, I don't think they'll do anything. Texas, 35-59 to Colorado State. Colorado State, 30 defense, returning quarterback. Texas, 17. Ewers is back for Texas. They're a decent team. They did beat Alabama last year, and then they lost to Penix and Washington in the playoff, which is why I like Penix. He wins the playoff game against Oregon. He wins the playoff game against Texas. Michigan, they had to run blitzes, and they put 6 guys on the line to try to beat them. So they really, I don't know, it was very shady what Michigan did. And they ran it down their throats, which isn't Penix's fault. So look for Texas here. I don't know, 35, big number. We'll see. Boise, 12-57 to Georgia Southern. Boise with the 25 defense. Georgia Southern with the 30. Boise gets a transfer quarterback from SC who obviously could not compete with Maivia or the guy who did the whole game. So you're getting the third string USC quarterback. And they run a gimmick there. So is he really any good? I don't know. Georgia Southern, he's more of a running quarterback, I believe. Georgia Southern gets a new freshman, again with the 30 defense. Boise's supposed to be a pretty explosive running team this year. We'll wait to see that. South Carolina, 20-53.5 to Old Dominion. Returning quarterback for Old Dominion. New quarterback for South Carolina is Rattler has moved on to the bench in the pros somehow, although I can't see New Orleans keeping him. Old D, 26, South Carolina, 26. Over under 55.5. So South Carolina struggled scoring last year anyway. Old D, again, you got a Sun Belt team or Conference USA team. Just watch. I mean, it's hard to play that one. South Alabama, 5.5, 65 to North Texas. This line's dropped from 7. We'll call it 6 now. There is a 6.5 to 65. North Texas, explosive team, an over team with the 37 defense. They got a new transfer quarterback who's good. South Alabama was an A team last year with a 22 defense, and they got a returning quarterback who was a freshman, which I don't understand. So he must be a redshirt freshman, must have played a little bit. I think North Texas, you're going to get points. South Alabama, you don't know. Let's see. Houston, 2.5, 54.5 to Vegas. New quarterback for Vegas because Maivia is going to start at USC. So hopefully they had a pretty good backup. Good coach, good system. Houston, terrible quarterback, but they brought in Willie Fritz, who's a great coach. Look for Houston to be a live dog this year. We're going to be betting them a lot. Over under 55. They had a 31 defense, and he was the Tulane coach. They went undefeated. Vegas with the 27 defense. So again, Houston on one hand gets the returning quarterback, but Donovan Smith's not good. So we'll see what he does with Fritz. But look for Houston to be much better defensively also. Troy, 15-47 to Nevada. Poor Troy. They're going to suck this year. They get the Notre Dame coach who couldn't handle Sam Hartman. So terrible offensive coordinator. Troy's going to really be in trouble this year. A 17 defense last year. The coach is gone. Nevada with the 33, as we talked about against SMU. Troy is, so they get a new quarterback with the terrible offensive coordinator coach. Nevada's is returning, but we'll see. Again, the 33 defense on Nevada. Troy's going to be a nightmare this year. They're usually pretty good, but not this year. Alabama, 31-59.5. There you go, Greg and John. 31, we'll call it 60. Western Kentucky, not a bad team. 28 defense, new transfer quarterback. Alabama's got Milrose, new coach. Under Saban, they're an 18 defense. And DeBoer at Washington had a 23 defense. Granted, he had to play very highly skilled teams. He had to play Oregon twice. He had to play Washington State, Oregon State, probably UCLA. Well, UCLA wasn't an offense, but maybe Colorado, Arizona. There was a lot of good offense in the Pac-10. It was the best conference last year. So we'll see what Alabama does. They'll be somewhere between an 18 and a 23, but all the 18s are gone. So he's got to get all new defense and learn his system. That's going to be the weak point. They'll probably start off as an over team because they got Milrose. You're going to see Milrose actually look like a quarterback this year. Look what he did to Penix. Penix was okay at Indiana. Then he got hurt, and then he transferred, and then he looked decent last year at Washington and really good last year. So look for Alabama to be a much more explosive team, although that's hard to believe, but they'll be a good offense. And I think a better offensive coach in DeBoer, but not a better defensive coach. Rice, 10.5, 49 to Sam Houston. Both are 26 defenses. Sam Houston, a new quarterback, and Rice, a new transfer, who's not bad. It's Kurt Warner's kid. E.J. Warner is Kurt Warner's son. He played at Temple for some reason. Why he didn't get a better scholarship, I don't know. He wasn't bad there, but Temple sucks. So now he's at Rice, which, again, I don't know why he's not at a bigger school. Sam Houston's terrible. They don't score a lot, and they give up 26. Michigan, 21.5, 48 to Fresno State, and Michigan with a 10 defense last year. A new quarterback, Fresno State with a 25 defense. Mikey Keene's back, which is good. He's a very good quarterback. Pretty good defense for Fresno. Michigan, new coach, new quarterback, new defense, new all line, new running back, whole new team, new coach. And I'm not impressed with the new coach. He cried after beating Penn State. Okay, that's all you need to know. So I'm happy to see Michigan with a real schedule this year. Texas, USC, Washington, Oregon, Ohio State. Now we'll see them with 5 or 6 losses, which is what they should have been last year. Total embarrassment to have a team like this in the playoff was a joke. You fucked up Georgia, Oregon, and Florida State should have won over Michigan. Unbelievable. Yeah, they had an undefeated record. They didn't play anybody but high school teams. Who was the best team they played? A weak Ohio State team until the Washington game. Even Alabama wasn't a prime Alabama team. I'm doing amazing. Thank you, Greg and John. All right, so we're going to see a real Michigan team, and it won't be pretty. Texas A&M has gone 2.5 over Notre Dame. Not sure why. And 46.5. So this has dropped from 47 to 46.5. A&M had a 21 defense. Their quarterback's back, Wegman. Notre Dame is a 17 defense with Riley Leonard, who was not very good. 3 touchdowns and 3 picks is all he did last year. Again, it's 2 good defenses going at it. We'll see. But Notre Dame, I don't think they'll be very good this year. A&M, I don't know. They got a new coach. They got the Duke coach. So we'll, again, see how he is. UCLA 13.5, 55.5 to Hawaii. Hawaii, all they can do is throw. They run that just a quick shotgun and that no defense, no running. UCLA lost their coach, lost their defensive coordinator. They got their quarterback back. Hawaii with their quarterback back. UCLA had an 18 defense, new defensive coordinator, but he was the defensive line coach, so it shouldn't change too much. Hawaii with the 32 defense. So UCLA should have a field day scoring. The question will be, what does Hawaii do in this game? Probably not a lot. Kentucky 26-50.5 to Southern Miss. Kentucky kind of sucks. They're always like, they're okay. It's a Levis, like, he's the average quarterback. He wasn't any good in college. I don't get this Will Levis thing. Oh, he's got a strong arm. What team does he throw the ball to? Why didn't he use it at Kentucky? Oh, yeah, they lost by 50 to Georgia. Yeah, he's a great quarterback. Southern Miss, a 36 defense, a Z team, a new transfer quarterback. They lost Frank Gore Jr., went to the pros. Kentucky with a 25 defense, a new quarterback. I have no idea here. This is a lousy game. Georgia Tech, we get them week 1 and week 1A. 21-57. That line really hasn't moved. Both defenses were 30. I look for Georgia Tech to get a little better defense this year. King is back. Excellent quarterback. Georgia State, a new transfer quarterback. I don't think Georgia State gets much better. Georgia Tech, I think, does because of the coach. Charlotte and James Madison. And we know James Madison's coach has gone on to Indiana. They get a new transfer quarterback from Washington. He was their third stringer. Charlotte gets a new coach. James Madison had an 18 defense with the other coach. Charlotte at 28. So the unknown is the coach, right? Is he going to keep that 18 defense? You got a new transfer quarterback. You don't know anything about James Madison. Charlotte, sucks. Arizona State, 6.5, 46.5. 6.5, 46.5 to Wyoming. Wyoming, new quarterback. Peasley's on one of these exhibition rosters. Arizona State, a new transfer quarterback as a freshman. Arizona State's problem is they gave up 32 a game last year, and Wyoming gave up 23. So, again, I have no idea. We have to see what's going on there. Arizona, 30-54.5. Their coach left. They got a new coach who's not bad. I forget, their new coach, I think, went to Oregon State, or their old coach. They got a great quarterback in Fafita, great wide receiver. They had a good defense, a 20 defense, and New Mexico with a 35 defense and a new quarterback. I would assume New Mexico will be a Z team this year, and Arizona should be good. They got a good defense, so I'm looking for Oregon State with the Arizona coach to be very good too. LSU USC. On FanDuel, LSU -6.5. On Caesars, LSU -6. And on DraftKings, USC's -6. Something that, let's just say LSU is a 6-point favorite. And 63.5. LSU with the 28 defense. The new quarterback is pretty good. USC at 35 defense gets the UCLA defensive coordinator. And they get a new quarterback, Maivia, who is very good at Vegas, running the option mostly. We'll see how good a passer is. But he was a good quarterback. We won a lot of money on Vegas last year. The game's actually in Vegas. So this will be an interesting game to see how quickly the UCLA defensive coordinator works, if he does work. We've seen it before with whatchamacallit. I can't think of the coach, Kiffin. So Lane Kiffin goes to USC. Monty Kiffin, his dad from the Tampa Bay, comes and they give up 60 points a game. So we've been here before. So let's see this game. I would expect it to be high scoring. And the last game is Florida State 21.5, 22, 51.5 to BC. BC's terrible. Returning coach. Florida State gets Uglia Buglia. It'll be their defense. They'll probably play a lot of under games because you ain't scoring with Uglia Buglia. BC, weak quarterback and a defense that gave up 30. But we'll see Florida State week 1 against Georgia Tech, who's a much better team than BC. Texas is good. How did Bo Nix do? Well, he played today, so he didn't do anything. He did good the first week, and they played today. So that's college football week 1. So what I'll do in class, I'll go through the games, and then I'll give you my picks, right? So you don't know my picks. I haven't picked them yet. I can see what I might do, but I haven't really decided yet. I got to get that feel of the game. And I'll probably post the college. I'll probably post the 1A, the 24th with some of the later games. Obviously not Florida State with Florida State, but, I'll take one of the games and probably put it with a game from the following week. We'll see, because there's only 2 games, and do I really like both of them? I don't know. Pros start after Labor Day, so we are waiting on that. Baseball, I've given you. So that's a look at sports. We went through the NFL draft. And gold, we'll see about 7 o'clock tonight. We'll see where it runs to, 25.08. The U.S. is in trouble because they owe 12 tons of gold to the people who took the receipt of the wonderful derivatives that they do, and so they had to buy them. So that's why the price is going to go to 3,000, because they have to pay market for them. They can't short it. They can't play anymore until they pay off these 12 tons of gold. And now they probably owe another 12. That's why the U.S. will get out of the COMEX soon, because people are taking delivery on them. And if they take delivery, they got to pay up, and they don't have the gold to pay up. And so what are they going to do? There is no gold in your Fort Knox that belongs to the U.S. If there is any gold, it is China's gold. In the Fed in New York, it's never been the U.S.'s gold. It's always been the other countries, as you saw in Die Hard 3. You saw all the countries, Japan, South Korea, all these other countries' gold was there, not the U.S.'s. That was just a place to hide from the Nazis. Everybody was afraid Hitler was going to steal their gold, because that's what Hitler did. That was the whole war, was him stealing gold. And then trying to get oil from Russia and other countries, the Middle East, Africa and stuff like that, Egypt. So that's all. That was World War II, was him trying to steal gold and oil and paintings and stuff. There was no war. I mean, it was just he's using force to get the gold, because they are being, protected by the other countries. So we will see, but let's see. We could go very high tomorrow. We'll know by midnight. We could see a 25.50 or higher. My guess is we could see a 26 by the end of the week or higher. Again, did you ever think we'd see 25.08? No. Did you think you'd ever see over 2,000? No. And this is the problem. The variables changed. It went Basel 3. It went Tier 1, just the gold, not the silver. And therefore, it went through the roof, which is what we should have gotten. So the free market, we don't have a free market in anything on COMEX. It's all trading. It's all Eddie Murphy, Dan Aykroyd trading places. If you notice how they set the price of orange juice, they thought the crop would be bad, so they got it from 102 to 142. And then they switched to crop report, Murphy and Aykroyd, and they knew it was going to be fine. And then they started selling at 140, and it went in a frenzy down to 29. Is that the real price of orange juice? Was based on these derivative idiots selling at 142, buying on a frenzy at 29? Is that the real price of orange juice? Of course not. And that's the point. None of those COMEX prices are correct. None of the gold price is not anywhere close to reality. It should be much, much higher than 25. And as I keep saying to these Andy Scheckmans and alligators, it's the money going down, not gold going up. They're full of shit. They're wrong. It is the gold going up. If you have demand for gold, it goes up because of demand. More people want to buy it. That's how prices go up in a free market, not because it's being kept down by the derivatives, by COMEX. So therefore, the price of 2,500 is nowhere near reality. It's been kept down. Now, let's add insult to injury for these guys who think it's the dollar going down. The dollar's gone down 99%. So is the dollar going down when gold goes from 2,400 to 2,500? Absolutely not. The dollar has nowhere to go. It's gone. It goes to zero. So it's gone 99%. So don't tell me the dollar's going down now. No, this is gold demand going up by every central bank. Me, Luke, and everybody else here buying gold and silver. Silver should be $1,000 an ounce easily. It's being kept down. If you got inflation and the dollar's going down, where's Andy Scheckman and Mark McGuire about silver? Where are you guys? Well, the dollar's going down. Why isn't silver going up? Oh, you mean it's price fixed? Yeah, you're damn right it's price fixed. Hey, Luke. Well, wait, Greg and John, TK, when do you post the college games? How much are your picks? Well, www.teaserking.com. You can come here for a class. Let me go to the site. So here's teaserking.com. This is yours truly. If you want, you go to purchase picks to buy the picks. Now, there's two ways you can get the picks. One, you go to my college picks, $25, and I'll do like 2 shows a week. I'll do like a Friday show and then a Saturday morning, or the pros, which I'll probably do. I'll have to do a Wednesday show for the Thursday game, but it'll be a quick one. And then probably also a Friday and then a Sunday morning. I'll give you the picks, Friday for both, and then any line changes to that. So that's 25 each. Or you go up here and purchase the picks, and you won't get the class. But if you don't have time and you just want the picks, pro picks are $75 for a week. They're $200 for the month, and they're $600 for the year. This is all the way through the Super Bowl. So this is the best deal at $600 for like 20 weeks. It's like $30 a week. Same thing for college. It's $75, $200, and $600. Or if you want both, instead of $150, you get the college for $100, or both for $100, and you get the locks included. You get for a month, instead of $400, it's $300, and for the year, $750. This is the best bargain. So if you just want the picks, you get it that way. If you want the picks and the class, so this, I'll give you all the picks, and we'll have the class. So that's 25 college, 25 pro. It's your best bet if you want, but you got to be available. You don't have to be in a live class like now. You can get the video, obviously, after I did it if you're busy, but it's your option. Or you can buy your locks only for $75, or get them for $500 for the year, or my economics classes, 25 also. Now, here's when you get the picks, here's what they look like. So here is, for example, the playoffs. All right. Kansas City against Baltimore. You have Kansas City plus 10, the teaser, with San Francisco over in the Lion game, 44. That was a lock for 31.77 units. It's 31 units. That's how you read it. So KC won, first half won, and then Frisco went over. They played a 65, and it was a lock. And the wager, you're just looking at the units, 31 units. That's my nomenclature, but it's really, I'm saying bet a lot on it, 31 units. And then the Super Bowl, Kansas City +8, which was the easy one, and KC under 54.5. They won like 24-17 or something like that. So it was a 40-something Super Bowl, 25 units, and that one. So that's how you'll read it. You'll read it across. You'll see the line and the teaser line, 4 and 10, and then the over, 50 down to 44. Is it a lock or a free play? And then how much? It's really, you'll see units. And what you're trying to do is adjust the units. So a normal bet might be 7 units, and it's all your bankroll. So if you have a $5,000 bankroll, you may be betting 40, 50 a game. So they give you a 5 or 7 unit pick, you're just betting $50 on it. If I give you a 11 or 15 unit lock, you might bet 75. And if I give you a lock, 31 units, I expect you to bet 150 on it. And the idea is you're building your bankroll up. That's how you should be betting, to increase your bankroll, to take your profit and keep going. And then $50 units become $75 units. Then they become 100. I always start with 50. And by the end of the year, I'm playing 500. So it's just, as the year goes on, I understand the teams better, because now I in college, I don't know how Charlotte's going to do with James Madison. By the end of the year, I was pounding SMU last year. I was pounding Appalachian State. I was pounding UCLA unders last year. Georgia Tech was getting better. Florida State, we're pounding. Washington, Oregon. You start pounding them because now you know the team. So we don't know a lot of the teams. We do know, we have an idea about Alabama. We know Georgia. We know Utah. We know Oregon. We know Ohio State. They're the prime. So that's what we're looking for, is just ranking the team. So that is how you would do it. That's how much it is. I will be posting probably tomorrow, because I think I have any news on week 1, the 2 games, but I'll probably play like one of the games with the next week's, which are fine because we have the lines on that with the team that's not playing. So we don't worry about the injury. So it'll be week 1A team with a week 1B team, probably. I don't know if I have a lock. I don't know how many games I'll have. It's like baseball. Sometimes I'll have 5 or 6, sometimes 10. Football, if I get good matchups, I have more teams. And if I don't like to bet. I like to bet to win. And that's what I do. So hope that answers your question, Greg or John, but probably Monday. And I'll come on class, since I do this every day, and I'll say picks are posted. So we'll probably do that tomorrow. Hey, Luke, just looking at SD Bullion, and we're looking at 2640. Did you look at eBay? Let's look at eBay. So here's a Maple Leaf 2606. Here's another one, 2641. Here's 2652. So you're looking at about 2640, 2650 for the American and Maple Leaf, probably about 2640, and I would guess the Cougarian to be 2602. But probably more like 2640 now. Again, they probably ran the auction earlier, and now they got to adjust it. Like this auction, He's still 2602. Yeah, I'd be buying it. I mean, Cougar is an ounce of gold. Why would it be $50 cheaper? So you might get less when you sell it in, but you paid $50 less for it, but probably a little bit more. So let's see. So yeah, 2640, but I think gold will be maybe 2600 by the end of the week. The U.S. doesn't have the derivatives. They have to buy 12 tons of gold from the BIS. Are they going to want to keep doing derivatives and keep having to pay for gold over market or at market? So they're buying the gold now at 2,500 because they can't derivative it down. And everybody else is buying because BRICS is going to force them to if you want to join BRICS, you got to have gold for the gold backed currency. So they're buying, as we know. I think Russia's buying from India or somewhere because Russia can't use Russia, but I think they're buying from India. Okay, Luke and Greg and John. Hey, Pat. Somebody got caught with his pants down with 880 million naked shorts on gold. Well, that would be the U.S. and J.P. Morgan. Mehmet Year, Turkey. Hello, Mehmet. I see you're new. Is there something we need to know about Turkey? Or they're inflated? They're having heavy inflation. Are they joining BRICS? I've heard that, and I know they're buying a lot of gold also. What's going on in Turkey? I don't know. I know there's inflation. I was thinking of meeting Daria there, and then I thought Serbia was a better choice. Heavy inflation. They're involved with the Middle East war a little bit. I don't know. A lot of Muslim, a lot of mosques there, and everything else. So I don't know, but I think they might be thinking of getting out of NATO and joining BRICS or something. But I haven't heard. But I don't know. Maybe Mehmet, are you from Turkey? Is that what you're trying to tell us? So we need more information, Mehmet. Anyway, so I wouldn't be. We'll watch tonight. I wouldn't be surprised to see a 20-50 today on its way up, and then silver's just waiting for us. What the fuck is that all about? Is there any silver left? I don't think they can make delivery. They're in the hole a lot on on silver, big hole. So they need to this, like when Saudi Arabia and India wants to buy for the solar panels, COMEX doesn't have it. So they're going to the mines, I guess, to buy. I don't know who stores silver, right? We know the London banks store gold, and China stores gold, and Switzerland has gold. I don't know who has all the silver. Like you don't go to Costco for silver, although they're going to start. The problem with Costco is they limit it to 1 ounce. Not even it's a bar, not even a coin, and it's in the case. So you can't really enjoy it. And like when you see the coin like this, the gold or the silver, that's good. But when you see it in a pack, it's not the same. So I really don't know what that is. JPM, JP Morgan in the bank. So if so walk me through this. I'm India and I need silver for my solar panels, and I'm Saudi Arabia and I need silver for my solar panels. Are you going to JP Morgan to buy them? Or is JP Morgan COMEX? The fact JP Morgan has them does not mean I have it, but you can't buy from me. If Saudi Arabia wanted my 650 ounces, I can't. Maybe Luke will sell them at a nice profit, but I know they have, but that doesn't mean they're for sale. So the question is, who's got the store where I want to go buy 10 tons of silver. Who am I knocking on the door? And it ain't COMEX. So yes, JP Morgan. I don't think they have any gold, but they do have silver. But is that the bank? And are they holding it for the Chinese, or are they selling it? So who's the seller, right? Whose doorbell do you ring? Going, yeah, I'd like to get 200 tons of silver. JP Morgan is selling 1 billion ounces of silver. Well, maybe, or these derivatives, which is fine. 1 billion ounces is not that much. We look at tons. So what is there? 600,000. What do I got here? Oh no, it's on another magazine. So we think they had what 600,000 tons. 500. Let's say 550,000 tons. That's not a billion ounces is maybe 20 tons, 30 tons, because it's 32,000 ounces to a ton. So 10 tons is 320,000 ounces, something like that. Anyway, I can do the math, but it's not really. It's maybe, let's say it's 50 tons, which is not a lot. Believe me, China has a lot more. Russia probably has silver too, but we've always discussed the gold. We don't know how much silver the other teams have. But the question is when they need it for solar panels, when electric cars and phones and computers, where are they getting it from? They're not knocking on JP Morgan's door because he's a bank. So they've got to be knocking. So he's got it like we got it. He's holding it when the price goes up, which is odd. He would do derivatives down. You would think he'd want the price to go up. If I have 1 billion ounces of silver, don't I want the price to go from 30 to 3,000? And I'm rich. Isn't that what I want? Oh, wait, but I have the printing press for the dollar, which I must protect. So I'd rather print a bunch of worthless paper than have silver go out, I guess. It's very strange. I think it's all leased out. Oh, well, then they don't have any. Then they're doing what your Fort Knox is doing. Your Fort Knox leased out the 8,000 tons of gold to China. It's China's gold. It's not ours. So if it's leased out, then JP Morgan doesn't have any. It's all China's silver or Russia's or Saudi Arabia. Whoever's bought it, they won't get it back. So no, JP Morgan doesn't have any silver. There's a lot of double counting that goes on. So like I said, if, well, let's say, it's Pittsburgh, so we'll use Luke here. So if Luke bought this card for me for the $5, I'd hold it though. So I leased it out to Luke. Is it my card? I have possession, but it's not mine. Luke bought it from me. It's Luke's card. I just happen to have it. So I'm counting it as my card, and Luke's counting it as his card, but I can't count it as my card because I've sold it to Luke. So in effect, I have the card, but I really don't. This is Luke's. I have zero. This is Luke's card. And that's what the gold and silver do. They've leased it out to China and Russia and Saudi and India, but it's not theirs. So JP Morgan doesn't own any of it. It's all gone. It's leased out, and the countries who bought it have it. And the fact you've leased it, you're not getting it back. What are you kidding me? Oh yeah, that's silver. I need 100,000 ounces of silver back. JP Morgan is acting on behalf of the Fed to keep silver down so the dollar appears strong. How's that working? Does the dollar appear strong? I thought that's what they're doing with the stock market, fixing that so the economy looks strong. Double accounting, both can own the card on the books. No, you can't. You can't both own one card. One guy owns it, the other guy doesn't. So we can say we have the gold, but it's not our gold. We can't really say it. So if somebody said, I want to buy 100 tons of your gold, how are you going to give it to them? You don't have it. You'll have to go out and buy it, which means you don't have it. So yeah, I hear what you're saying, double accounting, but you can't. I mean, somebody owns the gold and somebody doesn't. And just because it's in your Fort Knox doesn't mean it's your gold. Okay. So that's what's happening. So is it double counted or not? There's only 8,000 tons, and it's not the U.S.'s. So again, how do you buy the silver? And I think what they're doing is going right to the mine to buy it. That's what they're doing. There's nothing else. Pat, so if they can't deliver the gold and silver, what happens next in your opinion? Well, they do what they did now with the gold. They bought 12 tons of gold, 32,000 ounces a ton, and had to pay China because China demanded delivery on the gold and COMEX for these options, right? So the U.S. does the option. They can't pay. They go buy the 12 tons from the Bank of International Settlements and gives it to China. So it's the same thing. In silver, they can do it a little bit differently, but gold, they got to get tired of losing their ass. Now there's much more demand for gold because all the central banks are buying it. I'm not sure if the central banks are smart enough to buy the silver because that's what's next. I get you're buying gold for the gold standard to join BRICS and get out of the dollar. I love reading these articles and people denying the de-dollarization and everything's fine. And then you look at who it's from and it's some guy in the U.S. Crying that the dollar's not worth anything anymore. So silver, they don't have to deliver. That's why it's not gone up yet. Silver, they just play this game. Gold, they have to deliver. That's what Basel III was. It says gold, you must deliver. Silver, you don't have to. How much is silver now? It's roughly $30 an ounce. Wonder if gold, silver will continue to run tonight into next week. What do you mean? Still go up? I think gold will still go up because the U.S. is the one knocking it down, maybe a little help from London, but the U.S. again have to deliver it. So it's really stopping them from doing it. They just play with silver and they go into Bitcoin. So I don't know. We could get a nice run on gold. We'll see. We'll know tonight. 7:00, I think it starts. So it's funny. I check at 11:00 at night. I'm going just like, it's up. And then I wait. If I have to get up to pee at like 4 a.m, I check the gold price. It's just there. Oh God. What if the BIS runs out of gold? Then they go buy it from China. Why is silver so low? Well, as we've said, because of the derivatives. It's all part of the Ponzi scheme. I don't know what the BI. I don't know the inside games of how the BIS gets their gold. But the thing you got to realize, Pat, is everybody's going to run out of gold. It's going to be like Luke's brother. He's going to buy up all the tickets for Ohio State, Oregon. So officially, they'll be gone. You go to the box office to buy tickets for that game, you won't be able to get it. You'll have to go to Luke's brother. And then you're going to pay $5,000 for a 50-yard line seat that should cost you $200 at Oregon for that game. Whoever owns the gold, China, Russia, Saudi Arabia, and India, and all the BRICS countries will then need a higher price to sell it. So when the BIS runs out, that's why the derivatives are going to blow up, the gold derivative, because they won't be able to do the delivery anymore. They won't be able to find gold to make the delivery, so it'll run out. And that's what happened, because that's the game. The game has changed from them not having to do deliveries to now, as soon as they do the derivative, China's like, I'm taking the delivery, or India, whoever's taking delivery. And therefore, the U.S. has to run and find gold. And if they don't find it from the BIS, when that runs out, they'll have to go. They can't go to Canada or London. They don't have it. So then it'll have to go to, maybe they go to Switzerland for it. Maybe they go to, Czechoslovakia or Poland, whoever else has it. They would buy from them. They have to pay up. Luke, are they going to just naturally let the gold silver spot price rise in current system? Well, I think it gets revalued when BRICS comes out saying we're going on the gold backed currency. And we need the gold price to be 5,000 because we can't print enough dollars at 2,500 an ounce. We need the price to be 5,000 an ounce because we got to take care of India and China and all those people. So that's really the problem with it. They need to do that, to take care of it. So that's the point of it. Is I'm sorry, this kid next door is it's like she's hyper. She must be on drugs. She yells all the time. I mean, it's always the top of her lungs. I guess nobody can hear in her family. Sorry. But I think they need to revalue it at 5,000. Then it'll probably be on the Shanghai Gold Exchange is where that'll go without the derivatives. Only COMEX has the bullshit Ponzi scheme. So my guess is that's how it'll be priced and get the 10, 20, and 30 and everything until the dollar collapses. When the dollar finally goes, because it's priced in dollars, when this finally goes to zero and it's not that far away, then gold will be its own price. Then you can't say it's 25,000 an ounce because 25,000 what? Are they going to price it in BRICS gold-backed currency? I think that would be hard. So I think then gold then gets a value. Gold will buy a house, gold will buy a car, silver will buy your groceries. I think that's how it's just like the Romans. We're going back to ancient Rome when they had gold and silver in their coins. They didn't need dollars. That's what they used, gold and silver. So I would imagine that or a new currency pops out, and I don't know if they want the U.S. to run it or COMEX to run it. I think they end up with a new BRICS currency that will price gold in that. I mean, there's a couple ways to do it, but gold eventually has its own value in gold. So Pat, so that means the premium for physical will decouple from the derivatives. There won't be a premium. The only reason there's a premium is they realize it's too low. Right? Gold was 2,100 and they go, well, we know it's higher than this. We know it's the derivative. So I think the premium goes away. So when gold hits 10,000 an ounce, I don't think there'll be a premium. Maybe, but I think the premium's more between Shanghai and COMEX. So we will see. But once they have a solid price, I don't know that they'll have a premium. I don't know that it's really meant for the shopkeeper to be able to sell it at profit. Maybe that's what it is. I'm not sure. Or it's just to get a more reasonable price. If you notice, silver, it was $27.50. I bought it for $29.50 the other day. He only had a $2 premium on it. Gold, he's 110 on the ounces, and then he's different on the half ounces and quarter ounces. But yeah, for gold, it's definitely different. Lucas, once reality comes and their COMEX card hand must be shown, there won't be any more physical available for retail. Then the show begins. Absolutely. I think you said show. Then the fun begins. Well, that's it. See, it's very limited. 255,000 tons of gold is not a lot. You've got to understand these people buy the 440 ounce bars. The James Bond bars are 440 ounces. And believe me, when they buy it, like in Money Heist, they had 90 tons and it was huge. And it really isn't a lot, but it is. Can you imagine China with 60,000 tons of gold and Money Heist was 90? Holy shit. So yeah, I mean, there won't be any left. So where do you go? You go to the guy who has the supply. Well, then raise the price and say, if you want my gold, it's going to be X. Maybe it's in dollars, maybe it's in bricks or whatever. That's just how a free market works, right? Which we don't have. Now, really, we're all pissed and frustrated. Why is the price so low? We know it should be much higher. On the other hand, we should be thanking God that the price is low because we're able to go and buy it at these prices, right? Even at 2,200, it's cheap. This price should be 10 times at least. This should be $20,000, $30,000 gold. We're able to get it now 2,500, which is really 2,600 on its way. And so that's why I did as much buying as I could, knowing the boat was sinking. That's why you got to try to think in the terms I want you to think in, which is think ahead. If A happens, then what happens? Then B happens, C happens, D happens. If we hit an iceberg, the water is going to run in the boat and we're going to need to get on the lifeboat because the ship's going to sink and then we need to get on a lifeboat. So because the iceberg hit, get on the lifeboat. So you're 4 steps ahead. Because the dollar's being printed to shit by Biden and George Soros, we need to get out of the dollar as quick as possible, which is what was 3 years ago. If you listen to my videos, it was 2017, and I'm like, get the fuck out, or 20. It was like 3 years, 2020, get the fuck out, and buy the gold and silver at that point. We're still able to get silver at $30. It's a joke. Luke, you don't have enough, and you got 2 big boxfuls, and you probably don't have enough, but you're doing fine. I would press the gold. I don't know if I'd press the silver as much. You got plenty there. You'll be going to the grocery store for a while. Pat, when silver crashed to $12 in 2020, the minimum was 19 for physical. It didn't crash. It was Ponzi scheme. It was Madoff. They did their derivatives, and nobody was buying, and everybody was selling. It was price fixed. It was not free market $12. And that's what happens when the government price fixes things. Just like what Kamala Harris wants to do. Oh, I'll keep insulin at $35, and everybody can afford a house so they can retire and send their kids to college. Like, why are we hearing communism come out of Kamala Harris? Yeah, let's vote for communism. Yeah, price fixing. We want price fixing. You want a free market. That's what works best. That's how people get rich, and that's how you can have affordable prices through competition, not the government saying that. That's what you saw with silver. The price went to 12 because the government wanted it lower. Why did the government want it lower? I have no fucking idea. But that was a buying opportunity. I remember buying my Highland Mint. I got a Bobby Orr, and I got a Dan Marino, and I got Barry Sanders, and the Highland Mint silver coins. They're two-tones, some of them. It was $16 an ounce, the silver. And this is back in the 1990s. And it still hasn't gone anywhere. I should have bought the gold Michael Jordan. It was probably only $250, $300, because at that time, gold was only $250 an ounce. Boy, that hurts. That's a reverse Bitcoin, Luke. And I could have had the Jordan for $250 for the gold card. Oh my God. Anyway, but that's what happens. There's always ifs and should-haves. All you can do is, where are we now? Silver's still really cheap. The problem is people don't understand derivatives, and they don't understand COMEX price fixing, and it's not at market. So therefore, people don't realize silver's a joke at 30. And again, I figure 10 to 1. It could be 7 to 1. So when gold hits 20,000, silver should be 2,000. That's my logic. And gold very easily will be 20,000 because of the panic. Once people realize the Titanic's going, the panic to get on the lifeboat is there. Once people realize the dollar's worthless, which it'll be like pulling teeth to get the government to admit it's worthless, and then the frenzy to buy silver will be there, pushing the price way up. And the funny part is, what do you hear? Well, Biden's not running the country. It's Obama and Hillary Clinton. But what they don't say is it's George Soros running the country. But you never hear his name. You never hear George Soros putting the judges in, George Soros fixing the election, and George Soros running the country. You don't hear that. Obama, what does Obama know about running a country? He fucking couldn't run it when he was president. How much power does he possibly have? Who the fuck's running the country, right? It's George Soros. A little bit with the Chinese, but he might want it. He wants the U.S. to collapse because of the revenge on World War II with the Germans. Not hard to figure out a revenge game. So that's really the problem. So then you get to see what's going on with with silver, and it can't. The boat has to sink, right? I mean, they can't keep running the derivatives. Now everybody knows they're derivatives. Everybody knows it's price fixed. It's run by Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd and derivatives. So everybody knows that, and everybody will buy at 30, and then it'll be all gone, and then they won't be able to play their games. As these demand is asked for by Saudi Arabia and India for all the silver they need for the solar panels and everything, they're making these huge projects with solar panels, like miles and miles. They need like 1 million solar panels. Well, each one takes so much silver. I don't know how much. There ain't enough silver for it. So they're going to have to get it somewhere. So that's going to break up COMEX. It's coming. It's coming. We don't, it's just a matter of time. But we know the derivatives are blocking it. We know it's dirt fucking cheap. It's way cheaper than it should be. I'd say a minimum of 500 an ounce is what it really should be if it was free market, like the Rolex and the Mantle cards. You get that free market, it ain't nowhere near $30. So people have a hard time understanding that. They'll say, "Oh, it's the most undervalued." It is, but they don't explain the Madoff Ponzi scheme going on, and the fact you should buy as much at 30. But you're going to have to be patient on it because it's not going to go to 300 tomorrow like gold's making the run. Silver won't make the run until all the demand is taken out of COMEX, and now they're fucked, and then they won't be able to play the game anymore. They're making money on the derivatives. There's no reason to stop. They don't need physical silver, so they keep doing it. That's why they're getting out of the gold. They want to keep the price down, but it's costing them too much money, and they can play silver and not have a worry with it. Let's see, Pat, have you heard the Mexican discussing nationalizing the mining industry? No, I haven't really heard that. They've gone, well, they're really cartel driven communists. So I would think the whole country would be government run socialism. DK are into Bitcoin a lot. You're into Bitcoin, Greg and John, or what the fuck you talking about? I am not into Bitcoin at all. It's not real, so I don't buy it. I'd rather buy gold and silver that is real. That's really cheap. If you look at Bitcoin and let's say it's a baseball card, it's gone up from $5 to 60,000. Now it's in the 50s. It's made its run, right? Gold and silver haven't made their run yet. They've been held down. They're going to make their run. You can see gold making its run. So if I'm in silver, I bought it at $100 like everybody else. Nobody bought it at 70 grand or 60 grand. Then I would be selling it and buying gold because it's a no-brainer. Gold's a lock. It's going to go up with what BRICS is doing. You can see it rising. You never thought it would go over 2,000. It's now over 2,500, on its way to 3,000. It hasn't made its move up to 50, 60,000 yet. Oh, it can't go that high. Well, it can't when it's being derivative and price fixed down, but that's ended for gold. It's on its last legs of price fixing. It's now being run up by BRICS and China and Russia and India, needing more and more gold to join BRICS to get out of the US dollar. The dollar's going to zero, so you've got to own gold. And the whole world's fucked because the Swiss and the Euro and the British and everybody else is connected to the dollar. They're all going to zero. And then you have the whole country of Africa going to a gold-backed currency. That's what that guy, I never heard of that country, Igba, Bigba, whatever, but they're trying to have a gold-backed currency in Africa. And then Zimbabwe's got their gold-backed currency. Mexico is limiting mining permits, supposedly. One of my miners, Discovery Silver, was down 20% on Friday. Fresh are going to give me shit on that one. Well, I'll leave it to you, Luke. You can be in gold watching it go to 2,500 to 3,000, or you can fuck around with the mines. It's your choice. You're a big boy, but I can only tell you, if you own the gold in your hands, they can't fuck with you, right? They can fuck with you in the stocks. I'm afraid we'll be paying 3,000 plus for gold in a month. Yeah, very easily. And by October, it'll probably be, I can't imagine BRICS coming out less than 5 grand. I don't know, maybe 10 grand, but probably easing it up to 5 grand. And then they'll take it to the Shanghai Gold Exchange. We'll get our dollars, our price, not the COMEX bullshit. COMEX might stick for silver because people still want to buy silver cheap. But we'll see. Pat, there are rumors of imminent bank runs on JPM, State Street, Bank of New York, and Citi. Well, I know there's bank runs in China. I've shown you those videos time in and time again. Yeah, there are bank runs. I'll look for some videos on that. But yeah, well, why would you have money in a bank? The risk of you losing money to the bank versus you taking your money and having it in your safe in your house, I would bet on leaving my money in my safe in my house is safer than leaving your money in the bank, because the bank's going to close and you won't be able to get it. You don't want a safety deposit box. Do not put your gold or diamonds or silver in a fucking bank safety deposit box. You want it nowhere near a government building. If you do put it in a U-Haul storage facility and hide it with your socks or something, but don't leave it in a bank. So I got 500 grand in the bank. The odds on you getting it out are zero. They're going to limit you to $5,000, maybe 10 a week or whatever. And then when the shit hits the fan, they're going to say, sorry, we don't have any more money. We can't give it to you. And what happens when the dollar collapses? What they do now is they go to the Fed and they order money from the Fed, because that's really the Fed's purpose. So if I go to Fifth Third and I say, I need 10 grand, we don't have it. We'll order it from the Fed. You'll have it Tuesday. Oh, okay, fine. I can wait. And I'll get it. What happens when the Fed runs out of, or they won't be able to print anymore because it's worthless? All of a sudden it's worthless. Now what are you going to do in the bank? Oh, wait, I got to get my money out to buy gold. Well, yeah, you can't get it out. The only saving grace might be is to at least have it in your checking where you can use your debit card, go to the coin store where I go and say, I want, but I don't know if he would take like $100,000 for gold out of a debit card. He might take it out of a check, but I don't know he'd take it out of a debit card. So definitely bank runs. Like I said, China, yes. Japan, probably. Germany coming up. I showed you France and I showed you England going bankrupt. I guarantee you they will have bank runs, and I guarantee you it's coming here. And I guarantee you the rich people in those countries, China, Japan, the UK, all the millionaires will be pulling their money out of our stock market, our banks, and our housing market to get their money out of US dollars. And that's when you're going to see the crashes. And that's why they're going to crash. More sales than buys, the stock market goes. That's how it works. That's how a free market works. If everybody's selling the Mantle card, nobody wants it, it's going to go down. However, everybody wants Mantle. So that's never an issue, but that's how it works. Pat, shit could hit the fan at any time. Yes, anytime. That's why I do not wait and buy. Well, do not wait for gold to go down and back to 2,200, 2,300. You're not going to see it. I don't know that you'll see 24. You'll maybe see 24.50. We'll see when they knock it. But that's why I'm hoping we get a 25.50, 25.70 by Tuesday. And then it's the bye-bye blues. It's 26, 27. And then people will notice. And then here we go. Here comes the roller coaster. Massive commercial real estate losses in Florida hitting the banks. Not just in Florida, everywhere, Pat, because look at New York, the Statue of Liberty or the Empire State Building. You think there's anybody there? Rockefeller Plaza, you think there's anybody there? Chicago, the Sears Building, you think anybody's there? Yet, how much do they owe for it? Right? So they've bought this big building, they pay the rent to whoever the banks, and all their customers have left. Part of the reason is I don't know how much is the internet. Are you really closing your stores because of Amazon? Maybe the little retail. I still see Walmart and Costco open. Okay, Kmart's and Sears went out, but you still see Costco. You still see Kroger's, Target. I mean, they're still open. They're losing some money, but they're still open because there's stuff on Amazon. You're not buying steaks on Amazon, or I doubt you're buying 2 liters of pop, or I doubt you're buying half the shit on Amazon. I wouldn't buy anything from Amazon. Just very unique stuff, but mostly no. I might buy a vacuum cleaner on it. I heard they're cheap on Amazon, but otherwise I'm not using Amazon. So Amazon's not killing, office workers, right? Nobody's working. They are a lot more working remotely, and a lot of businesses are losing money with rent, so they want you to work from home. That's also contributing, and it fucks the bank. So let's go to banking 101. Luke gives me $100,000. I'm going to give Luke 4%. Thank you very much, Luke. I'm now going to use your money, Luke. Take your 100,000, and I'm going to loan it to Greg and John because he wants to put up a building. He wants to, do something in commercial real estate. He wants to open up a store. Okay, Greg and John, you're going to give me 7% for the loan of the 100 grand. Luke, you're getting 4% of it. So I get 7% from Greg and John. I give Luke 4%, 3% goes to the house. Until Greg and John can't pay anymore. Sorry, Howard, business is dead. I got to go out of business. But wait a minute, Greg and John. I need your 7% to give Luke his 4%. Sorry, I'm bankrupt. I'm out. Now I'm not getting the 7% from Greg and John to give Luke his 4%. Sorry, Luke, I got to go out. I'm going to keep your 100 grand and I'm going out of business. And you're going to do a bank run because you want to get your money before all the other Lukes in it get their money. That's what the bank run. Now the fear of the Titanic sinking has set in, or the fear of the dollar being worthless has set in, which that's what we're waiting for. And it will happen. This is worthless. But God forbid George Soros lets you know that. He'll buy all his money, but he won't tell you it's worthless. Who controls the news and he controls England and everything else. So that's what you have. So with all the banks, all the customers who own stores going out of business, they can't pay the bank back. The bank can't pay Luke his money. Luke, is your money safer in the bank or in your house, under your mattress, in your safe, or in gold and silver, which can't drop? So even if you take your 100 grand out and you put it in the safe, right? You got it in hundreds. So you got a big stack of hundreds. Is your money safe? It's in dollars. No, you want it in gold. What if I need money? Then you go to the store and you take your couple ounces of gold and sell it for whatever dollars are out there. But you're only doing a little at a time when you need the money. Your paycheck, you're working, you're getting paid in dollars. My advice, pay your bills. The rest of it, buy gold with it, because when this goes out, what good is your money? And keep in mind, if you buy gold for it, the gold's not going to lose value. And it'll have some days where it drops. We all got anxious at 23.50 the other day. Now it's at 2,500. Are we still anxious about 23.50? No, you do get a little anxious, but you can see what's happening. So you have that. So that's the key to it. You're not really risking because you took it out of dollars into gold. Your risk is keeping it in dollars while it goes to zero. That's inflation. You print and print and print. The money becomes worthless. It goes to zero. That's what purchasing power, that's what they mean when they say it. But inflation is every bit you printed the money. You've inflated the money supply. You've done that. It makes it worth nothing. Purchasing power goes to nothing because nobody wants it. And then sometimes prices go up if they can. And I use the barbecue restaurant as the example. His ribs are 28 for a slab. He raises it to 45. Nobody will buy it. He can't raise his price, even though his costs gone up. Raises his price, he's out of business. He keeps his price at 28. Maybe he's buying less quality barbecue. Maybe he's raising the price on salads and chicken. I don't know. But that's the problem. He can't raise. So it's not cost. So when they say inflation's up 2% or 3%, they're all full of shit. That is not how you measure inflation. You measure it by how much money has been printed. $150 trillion is a lot of money. Now, it was for petrodollar. Now the petrodollar is gone and everybody's using their own. China's using one. Saudi Arabia wants to get paid in gold, not dollars. As all that's happening, and all the dollars start coming home. China just sent $3 trillion back because they sold $3 trillion of their treasuries because they needed money to buy gold as their country's collapsing. However, when you have 60,000 tons of gold, You don't need the dollar. So they're just waiting for BRICS to go and do it. And the same thing with Russia. Their dollar's 90 to a dollar, and they're just waiting for the gold to, okay, now we're going with the gold. We need to do it. But then they can say to the U.S., we didn't bankrupt you. You bankrupted them yourself, but we were going down, so we needed to go to gold. That's their plan. They don't want to do the nuclear money, the nuclear economic way of just coming out with gold-backed currency. So they're letting the dollar go to zero, and then they're going to roll it out. Say, okay, you guys went to zero, not because of us. That's what they're trying to do. That's the way the Chinese are. So is your money safer in the bank with the real estates collapsing, which means they can't pay you the interest? Is it safer in dollars, even if it's under your mattress or in your safe? And God knows $100,000. Is it safer there where it's going to zero, as it's done everywhere in the world? Like I said, the English did it to the France, 1795. They printed a bunch of fake French francs, dumped it on Paris, and that was the war, because they went to zero because you have flooded the market with dollars. It had nothing to do with prices. You flood the market with dollars, it's going to zero, and that's what we're doing now. Same thing with euros, British pounds, Swiss francs, everybody else. Why they're not all going to the gold standard is because they're run by George Soros, who wants to collapse them. I mean, how stupid can these people be not to be collecting gold and at least having a gold-backed currency to fall back on when their shit goes to zero? Germany, France, England, Italy. I just showed you 4 countries, not including Venezuela, Zimbabwe, and China, all going bankrupt. So, of course, that's going to come around to us and bite us in the ass. But that's what it is. So if you're in gold, what's your problem? What's your risk? Zero. Gold going down? No. Gold's going up. It's heavily demanded. Everybody knows the only out is a gold-backed currency. So why would it go down? Now, if I need money, right, something happens, I cash in a couple of gold ounces. I get $5,000-$6,000, and then I have my money, but it's safe. It's mostly in gold. As gold goes up, so you bought it at 2,000. It's 2,500 now. It's going to 3. It's going to 10. What's your risk? Nothing. Maybe you have to pay a tax when you sell it. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe we can find a place to sell it where we're not going to get taxed, like Switzerland or somewhere. So really, that's the whole point. And therefore, the safest thing you can do is be in gold and silver, not be in dollars. You want to leave 10 grand in dollars, fine. But anything in paper, you're fucked. So as you're saying, with the banks having issues with commercial real estate, having issues with people paying, there's a lot of repos in the car. People can't pay their car payments. People aren't going to be able to pay their mortgages as they start losing jobs in this recession, like moi. So you've got to be very careful with that. That's going to fuck every bank, right? Not just commercial, but every bank. So get the fuck out of banks, get the fuck out of stocks. You'll have the house, you need to live in it, and your car is fine, but they're going to not give you your stock money. They've already made it where they own your stocks. You think you do, but you don't. You bought 100 shares of Coke. If you sell it now, you might get it. If you don't sell it now, and the shit hits the fan, they're not going to give you your money. We need it. Sorry. Because theoretically, we own your stock, which you don't know. It's in the small print. Let's see. Where was I at? The whole system is hooked on cheap, worthless dollars. Well, it's a Ponzi scheme. The whole thing is a Madoff. You give him money, he gives you back 15%. The money's all worthless. He never invested it, but you got your 15% back. So nobody argued that Madoff's scam was not good. Greg John, TK, free market is what we need. How can we get this? Well, initially, our Constitution was free market. You can't get it when George Soros is running your country and the communists are trying to take over. Can Trump do anything? I doubt it. Is Trump even free market? Trump's very protectionist. He wants to do those tariffs. What the fuck? He's out of his mind. We didn't see what happened in 1929 with the tariffs. Okay. What do you think of all these illegal immigrations crossing the border to be here? I think it's terrible. They should be legally come, and if they can survive on their own, they should be here. Jenna's friend Natasha's from the Ukraine is living in Berlin, and they pay for her rent as a refugee because of the war. Okay, that's okay. But I don't see that happening here. This is all militants and criminals coming over, and we're paying the cartel in Mexico and other cartels. We're paying them. They bring them over, and maybe they're paying us. Maybe that's why Biden's doing it. I think it's wrong. And then to pay them what, $5,000 a month or something to live here? How they need to support themselves. We're not a charity state. We're not a communist state. We don't have this big bucket of me and you working and making money and paying tax to pay these people. That's not the point. The point is for us to make our money and save for our retirement and buy houses and go on vacations. That's the American dream. It's free market. Austrian economics is how it was started. It's a long way from there, but people will blame capital. This is capitalism's fault. No, this is called communism. This is called dictatorship. It's not. It's when nobody's running the country. What is that? That's not even dictatorship. That's just, I don't know what it is. That's communism. Nobody knows what's going on. TK, you think the gold goes to 100K? No, I don't think it'll go to 100K. It'll go much higher than that. It'll be its own value. The dollar will be gone long before gold hits 100K. Look at Bitcoin at 70K. I've shown you Rolexes at 100K, at 500K. So it's not out of the realm, but the dollar will be long gone. Gold will be worth, it'll buy you a house. It'll buy you a car. So an ounce of gold might buy you a $100,000 Mercedes. So it's really won't have that value because you can't price it in dollars when the dollar's gone. It'll be gold will have the value. Gold will have the purchasing power. So you want to buy a tennis racket from Luke, you go in with a couple ounces of silver and you buy the tennis racket. That's how it'll work. It'll buy certain things will be then. The whole world needs to be repriced into gold and silver is what has to happen. So like in BRICS, for example, let's go to Russia where Daria is. So they have all their prices priced in rubles right now. Now they go to this gold-backed BRICS currency. And then you want to go to the grocery store, it'll be a gold-backed quarter will buy it or whatever they want to do with it. The prices just get adjusted to the currency. Right now they're in dollars. So as the dollar loses value, this is what nobody's understanding. As the dollar loses its value, prices go up because the dollar has no value. So it's $3 for a Coke, a 2-liter, because the dollar's worthless. But they can't mark the price up to $6 because nobody will buy it at $3. So eventually what happens is we go to a gold-backed currency and a silver-backed currency like the Romans. So let's go, we'll be the Roman Empire part 2. And we'll buy a Coke with 1/10 of an ounce of silver, basically. So now Coke gets priced in silver and gold. Well, silver. Steaks will be 1/10 of an ounce of silver for a nice New York strip. So the pricing mechanism of the free market gets changed to that. It won't be $10 anymore because there's no such thing as dollars. So now it's priced in silver. That's why people are running out to buy junk silver, but they don't need to. As long as you have the ounces, they'll make change with the dimes, quarters, and halves. If they might even come out with new dimes, quarters, and halves. It doesn't have to be Liberty dimes and Kennedy half dollars to do that. I mean, they'll make, like pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters. For the dollar, they'll do it with silver. So it'll be, it'll be cheap like milk. Milk will be, it can't be 1/10 of an ounce. That's too expensive. It'll be a penny of silver or something, but they'll have to come out with a way to do that. But That's what eventually happens. So you won't see $100,000 gold because you'll see Mercedes for an ounce of gold, which sold for 100,000. So that's where it'll get. Probably get to about 20 grand, and then it'll probably, well, then you'll have bricks pricing it in gold. They're bricks dollars. So yeah, you'll see it, but not in dollars. Dollars will be gone. Wait for Elon Musk to talk about. Wait for Elon Musk to talk about silver. I don't listen to Elon Musk. I don't think he's too intelligent, to tell you the truth. He's making electric cars and there's no demand for it. Tells me this guy's clueless, not an economist. I hate these self-taught people because they don't really know what they're talking about. I was taught by the best, right? Some guy emailed me and go, well, what's a master's class? And I go, you're getting my master's. You're getting how I was taught in my master's classes is what you're getting from me in economics and football. It's like a PhD in football, but you're getting what I was taught in my master's class. That's why it's a master's class. And that's why I'm the professor. That's the point of it. You're not getting just Andy Scheckman, who is not an economist, telling you, and you're listening to Peter Schiff. He's not an economist. They know a little bit about Austrian economics, maybe a little, maybe invisible hand or laissez-faire. They know the words. They don't know what they mean. And that's the thing. So that's the problem. In communism, there is no laissez-faire. There is no leave the business alone, keep the government out. Communism is keep the government in, keep the businesses out. So you basically have instead of business to business, it's government saying, this is what you'll do. This is what you're going to sell it for. This is what you can make. So the government's controlling the market, which we know can never work. If I want to go buy ribs or chicken, I don't know, but the government sure doesn't know what I want to buy. It's on my whim. So that's what you have. Elon Musk, I don't listen to. I don't really listen to anybody because there's nobody that's really gonna tell me anything. Egon, I agree with. I listen and agree, but he doesn't teach me anything. And Mark McGuire teaches me a little bit about derivatives because that's really not Austrian economics, but very little. The ring fence. I learned from Mark McGuire that there's a gold-backed BRICS currency coming in October. That's what I learned from Mark McGuire, is things that I don't know about, but he's not teaching me anything to do with economics. Or the dollar's going down, not gold going up, is just pure fantasy. The dollar can't go down anymore, but gold keeps going up because of demand, as anything in the market would do. If the demand goes up, the price goes up, right? And so we'll see. But the problem that they measure inflation with now, and they say, oh, it's not gone up year over year. Well, okay, so Coke was $1.59 or $1.19 for a 2-liter a few years ago. Then this inflation starts hitting, and it goes to $2.95. It's been $2.95 for 2 years because they can't raise the price. They start doing, well, buy two, get one free. That's because they can't sell it at $2.95. So that's what's happening with Coke. They can't do a price increase because they can't sell their Coke at that price. So then they go, well, from one year to the other, look, the price hasn't gone up. So inflation's settling. Well, first of all, you got to go back to the $1.59 and see it's doubled, and it hasn't come back down. Secondly, why year over year? And third, you don't measure inflation with prices for that reason. You measure it in how much fucking dollars you're printing. You measure it in that you're printing $1 trillion every 90 days to pay for your debt. That's $4 trillion you're printing out of thin air. And the more you print, the less it's worth. So how the fuck does the dollar have any value? All right, the government's forcing Target or Costco or Walmart to take my dollars. So am I really happy if I'm a store? Do I really want to be in business getting this crap? Well, maybe if I'm smart enough to get it and go turn it into gold, then I would do it, right? If I'm Walmart, I take my receipts at the end of the day and I run to the gold store and I go, give me give me about $300,000 worth of gold every day. That if I was running a business, that's what I would do. But these people don't understand that. They're not trained in Austrian economics. Nobody, you think when I go to Page Toyota, my dealership, you think he takes the money and goes and puts it in gold? No, he takes the money. Oh, we made this, we made that. I joke with my Chinese restaurant. I go, and they're Chinese. I go, well, are you buying gold? Oh, no, we don't, And I'm like, okay, good luck on that. You might have 100 grand in the bank. You might have 500 grand in the bank. It's worthless. And that's the concept people aren't understanding. And oh, it's safe in the bank. As we've discussed, it ain't safe in the bank. So anyway, this is the problem. People do not understand. And they're not taught it. And it's not that they're stupid. The problem with people is they don't want to listen. They don't want to get educated. If a guy like me is telling you, you should at least go, what's your background? Yeah, I got a master's in finance and economics, Austrian economics. Well, yeah, but masters aren't any good. Everybody, it's a dime a dozen. Not in 1995, it isn't. That's when I got my master's. So why would it not count? So you're saying education's worthless? Maybe now, but not back then. So what I know doesn't count. Really? That you want to play that game with me? Okay, so I'll go buy all the gold and silver, and you go broke. Doesn't bother me. Like I say at the pool, you come here to the class because you want to learn. So I'm very free and obligated to teach you. I want to teach you is why I'm doing it. I want you to understand. But at the pool, these people don't. And my friends, my couple lifeguard friends who understand it, they just shake their head going, don't even waste your time. They don't want to understand it. See, here you come because you want it. They don't. So don't bother them. I'm like, fine. So the guy I bike next to, he's, I said, well, your stocks are going to collapse. And he doesn't believe me. So at the end, he goes, well, I'll see you at the soup kitchen. And I go, no, I don't have any stocks. I'm in gold. So I won't be seeing you at the soup kitchen. And that shut him right up. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I am in trouble, aren't I? So Elon Musk, who is he? What does he know? It's nothing. Anybody that would make electric cars has to be an idiot because there's no market for it. Say's law, you must have a market to create something. It's demand. The people that make the money are the ones that demand the products. And if we don't demand a yellow shirt, you don't make them. And if we don't demand a certain type of tennis racket, you don't make it. And if we don't demand electric cars, you don't make it because we're the ones who control the market. And so when I see that, I just laugh. He needs a lot of silver. Yeah, well, I heard he went to a silver mine and bought a bunch, like 2,000 tons or something. Yeah, when I was at Toyota, the first day I said to the guy, I said, you need to tell him to buy silver because there's not a lot of silver left. And if Toyota's going to make batteries with silver, they better buy it at $25 an ounce because when it goes, it's going to be $500 an ounce. And he goes to me, this is why I was like ready to leave. He says, well, I think the guy at Toyota knows what he's doing. Oh, he knows the silver's out and he's buying all the silver? Oh, okay. You're welcome. I won't help you anymore. And I couldn't wait to leave after that comment. I mean, it was a doomed job. It was a stupid job. And I just got a call from McDonald's, not as in the finance department. And this recruiter, I don't know where they find me out of the blue. And she says, there's a job at McDonald's, but you'd have to relocate to Ohio. I go, I ain't relocating. The only place I'm relocating to is Russia or someplace in Europe that is safe, maybe Serbia or Spain or somewhere where I can live freely. But that's the problem. So it's a very, I keep looking at the time going, it's 2:18. It seems longer. It's because I did an hour before that only lasted 20 minutes. So anyway, so yeah, it's been 3 hours for me. No wonder I'm so tired. I got another 15 minutes. 3:00, I have to go to the pool because they close at 4:30. I am on a 72-hour fast. I haven't eaten since Thursday. Chinese at about 2 o'clock. I had a little snack after, but that's it. So I haven't eaten Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. So that's it'll be 72 hours. Let's say 6 o'clock. So I'm getting close to the walls moving. It's funny. I yelled at my neighbor because I'm so like hungry, and I said, "Would you shut the fuck up?" I mean, I'm trying to teach class, and he knows I teach economics, and he's so loud on the phone, and I'm like, "You're very loud. You're interrupting my class. I can't concentrate. Like, stop being rude." Like, they get out there and they just talk real loud, like nobody can hear them. Like, look, go live in a house if you want to yell, but don't you can't. This is an apartment. You can't yell. That's the first thing I do when the gold goes up is buy a house. But I don't know what country. I don't know it'll be here. Anyway, what else? So baseball picks today. Let's do that one more time. We got Baltimore, Philadelphia over 8, Kansas City under 9, Cleveland under 8.5, Houston over 8.5, St. Louis under 8, the Cubbies, Atlanta over 9.5, Oakland under 7.5, and Detroit under 8. Really not a lot of good pitching matchups today. Nothing big. Yesterday we had Chris Sale and Dylan Cease that we won with. Those were 5-unit games. Football starts. I'll probably post the picks Monday, and then so you probably should buy. Yeah, the class probably this week will go through those games. But I'll probably make it inclusive. So I'll go through week 1A and week 1B on the class this week. So we'll do that. Again, you'll have to pay me, and then a private class with your emails so you can plug in and type in your email, and you'll get access to the private class. You won't be able to see it if you didn't pay, where this is free, and obviously you can come. And then we'll talk about the games. You can ask questions, and I'll teach you the money market or money, how to manage the bankroll, and how to what to bet, or if you have 5-team teasers, anything you want in the class, or you can buy the picks online. I think you'll get the first 2. I think my password starts the following week, not this week. So you can buy the picks the way you normally did on Teaserking.com, or you can buy the class, in which case you'll get the picks. You don't need to do both. So if you come to the class, even if you miss the class, as far as I know, you should be able to see it. I missed the class, but here's my email and I want to see it. As far as I know, you should be able to see it. It'll just be private. So that's what we have. And that's football is finally coming up next Saturday, the 2 games, and then here comes the flood for football. Don't listen to ESPN or CBS or Fox too much. How great Caleb is, and how great Drake May is, and how bad Penix and Bo Nix are. Don't listen to them. They don't know what they're talking about. I've seen them in college. I know they're good players, so therefore, take my word for it. That's why I win. I don't listen to morons, especially the Detroit morons. Like I'll be surprised if Detroit wins 8 games this year because of their schedule. Because now they got to play good teams, and they won't win the good teams. They'll beat the bad teams. So we will see. But anyway, anything else? What do you want to know, Pat? Thanks, King Professor, for class. I'll be back tomorrow. You're the best. Thank you, Pat. Pat's a new one to our class, but I appreciate that. I'm glad you found me, and that's I'm working on my marketing because I should have a lot more people watching. Because this information you just can't find. You can't really find the truth and really what's going on and really what inflation is. Everybody's going to tell you prices. So you're fucked there because it's not. It's the printed dollars. How much is printed? That's the inflation. I give you all these examples from Rome to France to England to Spain to Zimbabwe to Venezuela to Argentina. Anyway, I think that's it then. Have a good day, everybody. Enjoy your Sunday. and just relax and buy your gold and silver. And then you have no stress in the world. Not only are you going to be out of the dollar and you're not going to get your ass kicked or get your money lost in the bank or the stocks. However, you're going to buy gold, which is going up. So it's a double win. You're out of trouble and you're actually into the good thing. Think of it like this. You're in the Bitcoin when it was 2,500 on its way to 60,000. Yes, you are right. You need a much bigger audience. Yeah. Well, I never want to advertise. I don't want to have frustrate people with these. And now these ads are like 50 cents. So I might, 50 seconds. I might start doing that. I think that gets me more audience. A lot of my people come for football. That's when you'll see me with 200-300 people with my football. I try a little Twitter ad, but I don't really advertise. I don't like put an ad on Google or an ad. Maybe I should. I don't know if it works. And I've reached out to my friend who's good at marketing, but she hasn't gotten back to me yet. So anyway, yeah, well, that's what I'll try to do. I might try the advertising, see if that helps. And I'm sure I'll get a lot more people, and then I might actually make money. Right now, I don't make money on this, so I'd like to, I saw an ad, they pay out like $1 billion and everybody's making money on YouTube. I'm like, I don't make any money, but I don't run the ads, but I don't want to fuck off and piss off my students. So I'll have to debate that. If there's big money in it, then I might do it, and I'll keep them short. Like, should I do one on economics and one on football and make them like an hour each, or is it better these 3-hour ones where you're getting a bit of everything? I don't know. The coming week will be wild. Looking forward to joining you. Okay, Pat. Sounds good. Looking forward to that too. Yeah, all we can do. We're in new territory where we're finally killing COMEX and we're finally getting a real gold price, which we've never had before, probably since the Romans. So with that said, then we're going to see with this BRICS what's really going to happen. Have a great day. Enjoy the pool. Thanks, Pat. Luke, when is gold going to unattainable? Very soon, I would think. You would separate football and economics. I can do that. Especially now that it's football season, I might do that. Problem is, you'll jump in and you'll start asking economics questions, like it happened yesterday, right? I'm on to do football, and then you start with and then I'm going to answer your questions. So that's really the thing, unless you are seeing that it's also economics and jumping in. Okay, so maybe I'll break it out. Yeah, because I know, Luke, you don't like the football as much as the economics. When is gold's almost unattainable now. The only reason we can get it at SD Bullion or JD Bullion or my guy's coin shop is people are selling it. If people didn't come into my guy's gold shop and sell their gold, I wouldn't be able to buy it. He might be able to get a little, but basically, I go in for a half ounce or an ounce or a quarter ounce, and he has those, but it's only because people are pricing it. So really, there'll always be people selling gold for us to buy, but it's really pretty much unattainable now. And the way the central banks are buying, when one sells, the others are buying it. So it's very, very close. I would say when the BRICS gold back comes out in October, good luck. You'll buy the silver, but good luck buying the gold. And then how long until the banks start buying silver? That's the other catalyst. As soon as they start realizing the gold's too high and they need silver, and silver's money also, then look out for silver. So yeah, buy as much as you can now. You would separate. You agree? Yes, I agree with you. Have a good day. You too, Luke. Nice to see you. Did you have good? I saw Skanes won. Did you have a good time Friday night at the Pirate game? Okay, thanks, Pat. I'm pretty sure you did. Skanes won, so I ended up taking Skanes. I was going to go under. I said, because you're going to the game, they'll win, and I took Skanes. Anyway, when are we meeting? And we'll go there. I'm looking to go to Europe. I was reading some stuff on Russia yesterday, and I could see where Daria is worried about me coming. It's probably normal, but they would be suspicious of why a American's coming to Russia. So she's scared of that, which I don't blame her. And then I think she can meet me in Serbia. We'd be pretty safe. Anyway, I'll leave you with that note. All right, everybody. Have a good day. Good luck. And again, www.teaserking.com. If you go to that home tab, you get my email. If you want to email me something, if you want to buy the football, you can come to the class, and it would be like 2 times a week. So it'd be like college would be Friday night. We'll go through all the games and the picks, and then Saturday morning. Pro will be, if there's a game we like, Thursday, and then it'll be again Friday and Sunday. And if you want to buy the whole year because it's cheaper, then if you want to do 2 payments, it's $750. You want to do $350 and $400. I don't have a problem with that. I do have a problem. The week's 75 and 100. So that's probably as cheap as I can go there. Maybe take a few dollars off, but not. Somebody wants like $30. That ain't gonna happen. Just come to the class. Okay, guys. All right. Ciao. Enjoy. I gotta get to swim.